Good Sportsmanship League representatives meet at midfield. Representing Spring, Sarai Barmore, Eliana Coney, Rihanna Brumfield, Layla Des Hotel, and their sponsor, Mrs.
Welcome to Woodforest Bank Stadium for tonight's 6A Division I bi-district playoff game between the Woodlands Highlanders and the Spring Lions. This is the third year in a row these two teams are meeting in bi-district, and we are pumped to bring this game to you. CISD audio broadcast tonight due to UIL rules once the playoffs begin. My name is Jeremy McGrail, and I'm joined by fellow CISD commentator here tonight, Jackson Cochran.
Hello.
Thrilled to be with him. Yes, welcome. You should have a great one here tonight.
I agree. This is, well, you got to cover the Woodlands a lot more than me this season, so you actually are going to take lead tonight because I'm here to appreciate and admire what this school and both these schools have to offer tonight. But yes, you have been the main guy covering the Woodlands this season, as I have been with College Park, and College Park got their victory last night over here at Woodforest Stadium. But we're not going to concentrate on them tonight. We're concentrating right now on the Woodlands.
Absolutely. The Woodlands top representative from 13-6A as district champions. They won it in emphatic fashion, as I was able to see last week against College Park. It's a game that was a little bit cagey in the beginning, and College Park actually led 14-10. It was hard to believe, and then the Woodlands just exploded for 38 unanswered points, I believe, after that point. So it's just a really emphatic response to last year's loss to College Park by the Woodlands. So they're coming into this game here tonight against Spring with a lot of wind in their sails. You know their confidence is high. In here tonight, they've got another, I guess you want to call it retribution, revenge type of game. Last year, Spring beat the Woodlands 42-21 in this same round, so you know that's going to be on the minds of the Highlander players a little bit. But coming into this season, it was basically the Woodlands kind of starting from scratch in a lot of ways. They had some young players moving up, like sophomore quarterback Mabry Matoyer, that have had to kind of grow up as the year has gone on, mature a little bit as they've gained experience. But then again, they've also had some seniors that have just been bedrock parts of their foundation in players like Ben Ferguson and Bradley Warren on defense. Evan Dubin as well, a defensive back, a senior who's made a lot of big plays for the team this year. John Podowski on the defensive line. So despite the fact that they basically started this year rebuilding in some ways, they had that experience still to kind of lead some of these younger guys like Matoyer kind of into battle when this season began. And so what I've seen from the Woodlands as this season has gone on is they've matured quite a bit since those early non-district games where I saw them against the likes of Langham Creek in Bridgeland, and obviously the Highlanders traveled to Katy as well. So scheduling-wise, they made it tough for themselves in non-district, really went after challenges, and I think this is the time of year tonight in this kind of game against Spring. This is when they hope that those challenges pay off and get them battle-hardened and ready for what they're going to face here tonight with the Lions.
Well, Jeremy, well said. I was just listening to you and just got caught off guard whenever everything you were speaking about. And, well, growing up, I grew up in Conroe, and I went to Conroe High School, and the Woodlands has always been one of those teams that has dominated this district. And as you can see, another district championship. And a few things that we're going to see, especially going into this matchup tonight, my apologies, just that the Woodlands they have their 5-0 record, but they're 16-5 all-time against the Spring Lions in high school, in just playing against each other over the years.
Yeah, and it's good to see two of the more traditional programs. It's like in the Houston area, especially in this era of new school building that we've seen really kind of kick into high gear since the new millennium, the year 2000. It's like we've seen so many new schools go up, and it's become harder and harder for a lot of these traditional schools to kind of stay in that mix as kind of the new shiny schools have been built kind of around the area. So it's good to have, I don't know if you call it old-fashioned. I'm not sure if I want to paint that picture for both of these programs, but just, yeah, two of the more tried-and-true programs on the north side. I'll go ahead and call it an I-45 battle, because I think 3 bi-district playoff games in a row constitutes a bit of a rivalry in terms of the playoffs. And what I'd like to do now for our listeners here, and thank you all for joining us again, we're anticipating an excellent football game here tonight. We're a little over 10 minutes away from the opening kickoff. I'm going to kind of observe things down on the field here, and I'm going to cut away, of course, once we get closer to the ROTC marching out onto the field and pay proper respects for our national anthem, so we'll let you know when that comes. But what I'd like to do in the meantime, in the minutes we have leading up to kickoff, is kind of go over the Region 2 Division 1 state playoff bracket a little bit, because we actually had 3 teams advance last night on Thursday playing early. And those teams are Rockwall, DeSoto, and Spring Westfield. Those are the teams that advanced from the Thursday night games last night. And all 3 of those teams are in the lower half of this Region 2 Division 1 bracket. Rockwall, a Dallas area team east of Dallas, beat North Garland 55-14, emphatic win. DeSoto, South Dallas team, defeated Killeen Harker Heights 65-28, another emphatic score. And then rounding it off in the emphatic category, Westfield, of course, beating Conroe by a score of 55-21 to move on to the second round for them.
Tough break for Conroe.
Yeah, absolutely. Westfield is just a machine this year, 10-0 on the year, and they actually represent the only loss for the Woodlands opponent here tonight, Spring High School. Westfield beat Spring 31-21 to end up winning the district championship in that one, and that's Spring's only blemish in a 9-1 record so far this season. But if we go back up to the Woodlands half of the bracket, Garland-Saxe plays Mesquite tonight, 2 Dallas area teams. Duncanville plays Belton. Belton, of course, Central Texas. Duncanville, South Dallas. Of course, Duncanville is going to be one of the favorites that people kind of point to in this bracket, as they've shown kind of in recent years that they've just become an absolute machine. It's a program that was always kind of tagged as the sleeping giant, and this year, really the last kind of 4 or so years, is they showed in their encounters with North Shore at the state title game that Duncanville is fully back as a program. It's, you know, one of those schools that's excelled for years in basketball and basically every other sport, but surprisingly until recently in football, they'd never just quite managed it, which, you know, no one could understand it. They were just one of those programs like that people looked at like, how are they not just totally dominant on the football field? But they've become just that kind of in recent years. And then you have the Woodlands against Spring, which of course is our game here tonight. And the winner of tonight's game will play Klein Cain or Cypress Woods. That is the other by-district game to watch here as we move forward for the winner here tonight. So the Woodlands, of course, if successful tonight, they'd be looking at that Klein Cain Cypress Woods winner next round. And then the most likely opponent, I'll just go ahead and say it, they're going to be there, is Duncanville in the third round. And that's obviously where things would get very, very serious. But here tonight, Spring should be a very game opponent. Again, as they showed last year, they won by 21 points, and that's obviously not going to be lost on anybody in the Woodlands locker room. You know, we're a little over 7 minutes from opening kick now. You're watching the action on the field. We've got drill teams lined up out here. The inflatables are up, ready to receive the teams as they run onto the field. The Woodlands hype video is now up on the board here in the stadium. If you are listening to us here in the stadium, we hope it adds to the experience of actually watching this game. It's a cool way to do things, so hopefully there are a few of you out there doing just that.
A little bit old school.
Yeah, absolutely. But for those of you at home watching this, we'll do our best to kind of paint the picture for you here and help bring you what should be just an excellent, excellent football game to watch. And again, in the state of Texas, it just doesn't get much better than the state playoffs. I've been watching these seriously for probably close to 30 years of my life now. I've been all over the state for playoff games for no reason at all other than to just
love of the game.
Yeah, love of the game and just to enjoy really great action. And one of my foremost memories was traveling to Texas Stadium in 2006 when South Lake Carroll matched up against Euless Trinity, back when those two programs were at their absolute heights in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it was the first time those two were playing against each other. And that game drew over 65,000 people to the old Texas Stadium. And I was lucky enough to be among that number, and it was just astonishing to witness. And one of those games where basically everyone else in the country looks on to Texas, just, why can't we be you when we grow up, kind of deals. And it was just, I just remember shaking my head that whole game like, is this real? Like, I can't believe this is going on. And I was lucky enough to be able to go down on the field for that game and up in the stands. So I got a lot of really good angles for that one, but just, you get the fever when you go to enough of these playoff games, and just the more experiences you have when everything's on the line. I mean, this is what these players work for. This is what off seasons are all geared towards. These players do so much work behind the scenes that nobody sees. It's not under these lights. It's what you might call it's just the boring stuff and the work that makes these players question their commitment a little bit. If we're honest, like why am I doing this again? When you're out there in full pads in August heat, going through 2-a-days.
They're built different.
Yep, you have to be built different to play this game. I mean, football is not like the other sports, and the level these high school football players are able to reach is really astonishing in terms of conditioning when you talk about high-level 6A football like we're going to watch here tonight. And as I talk about that, the Woodlands coming out of the locker room fired up. They're under their inflatable, ready to run out here tonight and
They're
take
hitting
the
the
field.
stone of destiny. They're hitting the stone of destiny right now.
Absolutely. Hit that rock, and let's get ready to play some football.
I was trying to do a little research on the stone before we actually started our broadcast. Can't really find anything. It's just more just that mystery behind it that they claim it's from Scotland, so I'm going to believe them. It's just one of those things that every single team has that is part of the tradition for whenever they're going to play. But I want to come back to what you were talking about with high school football, but we'll talk about it more once the players start to run on the field, just about when the season starts, especially on Twitter, everyone's starting to brag about their state high school football, Friday Night Lights. And you see all these other states like Pennsylvania, you'll see some California, all their stadiums, and then a lot of people around Texas like, no, we're built different here in Texas. I'm sorry. You want to brag about high school football, but no, it's Texas. It's here. This is what it's all about.
Absolutely. This is just what we do in Texas, high school football. And, of course, when you get to the months of November and December, and, of course, after last year's kind of COVID-altered schedule that we went through where we didn't actually end the season until February, just a very nice thing to be back on that traditional schedule where you've got Thanksgiving to look forward to. And that's obviously a target that every team has, is to be able to practice on Thanksgiving. And the Woodlands Highlanders coming out here tonight looking to take the first step towards that objective. Again, last year, not the kind of season they wanted, but they're running out onto the field here now with the flags. They're hyped up. They're going to kneel down here in prayer in the end zone and get ready to go here tonight as Spring High School jogs their way out on the far sideline. Just really interested to see what kind of football game we see here tonight. We're going to see two excellent quarterbacks on display in Mabry Matoyer for the Woodlands and Bishop Davenport for Spring, and just really looking forward to watching this matchup. We're a little over 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from kickoff. The teams are about to line up here for the national anthem with the ROTC about ready to march out, so we're going to mute ourselves, pay proper respect to our country here, and we'll be right back for opening kickoff.
Well said.
Please stand while the colors are being presented by the Woodlands High School Air Force Junior ROTC Color Guard. Commanding the color guard and carrying the United States flag is First Lieutenant Chris Bailey. The Texas flag is being carried by Cadet Master Sergeant Katie Pepper. The unit flag is being carried by Cadet Senior Airman Bryce Wallace. The right guard is Cadet First Lieutenant Nicholas Fusco. The left guard is Cadet First Lieutenant Nathan Faildy. During the national anthem, please stand quietly with your hand over your heart, and gentlemen, please remove your hats.
And with that national anthem, we are ready to resume playoff football action here tonight. We'll have the officials and the captains for both teams making their way out to midfield. The Woodlands wearing the charcoal uniforms tonight with the green striping down the side. Spring wearing the Stormtrooper all-white look. The white pants, white jerseys, white helmets. Be easy to tell apart here tonight.
Now, since you're referencing Star Wars with the Stormtroopers, do you think that their accuracy is going to be pretty good tonight?
We will see. I know from Davenport's perspective, he's going to hope he's a little bit more accurate than a Stormtrooper usually is.
Yes.
It's not going to end well for him here tonight.
Sorry, I had to give you a little bit of a humorous little joke right there.
Absolutely.
But one thing that I know that we have noticed, and we were doing a little research in pregame, this spring defensive front line is pretty stout. Now, a couple of their key players that we're going to need to keep an eye on are Gerard Henderson. He's has 4 sacks on the season, and I believe he has over 40 tackles for losses. And then the linebacker, Elijah Fields, actually no, defensive lineman, Elijah Fields, number 35. He's another one of those players that is just that 1-2 punch on that front line for spring. So hopefully the Woodlands O-line can pick up those guys and give Mabry a lot of time in the pocket so he can get those completions.
And Spring High School won the toss and will receive the opening kick. Indication on the field from our head official here tonight.
So they want to strike first, apparently, that's what they want to do.
Yeah, you would think both of these teams would have had kind of the similar mindset if they won the opening contest, or won the opening coin toss, to take the football, try and establish themselves on offense to start this football game. The senior kicker for the Woodlands makes his way out, sets the tee down for us here tonight to help us get started. And of course, Sims, as he's done all year, he's going to handle all of the kicking duties. Kickoffs, point after attempts, and punts. Does it all. He's got the ball down for us, and the Woodlands is kicking from our right to left as we look at the action up here in the booth. In Spring back to receive, they've got 2 deep men, keeping 5 men up, looking for a potential onside attempt. Trying to stay aware there. It's going to be kicked deep by Sims.
We are officially underway.
Going to be caught around the 5-yard line by Spring. Going to be returned out. Going to push out. Has a lane around the left side. He's into space. He's at the 40. He's at midfield now. He accelerates. Beats him in. He's up the sideline there. Not going to catch him. That's going to go for a touchdown.
Well, that was Myron Carter
game
on the full return.
Wow.
Well, that'll set the pace.
Absolutely. And I was just thinking about what happened there on the kick coverage. Again, just fielded cleanly at the 5-yard line. Kind of started out like he wanted to go to his right, but then saw something to his left, put his foot in the ground, and that lane just opened wide. And there was only one man for the Woodlands there to try and make the tackle and just couldn't do it. And Carter just accelerated away from that last man, and that acceleration happened around midfield, and he just turned on the afterburners, went right up the sideline. Of course, watching from our angle here in the press box, I was making sure he didn't, it's hard to tell if he steps out of bounds here on the near sideline, but
he just went north to south right there, or south to north, from south end zone, north end zone. Just, as you were saying, turn on the burners, hit pay dirt, reservations for 6.
No, well, hold on here just a second.
Nope, they did say that he was out of bounds at the...
Yeah, that happened so fast we didn't realize the officials were walking it back. They're actually spotting the ball on the 46-yard line. It will be in the Woodlands territory, but no touchdown on the board. It's going to be a 4-receiver set for Spring here to start with Davenport.
There's a flag already there on the play as Davenport throws an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Davenport going up the top sideline there, Spring sideline, looking for his man, streaking directly up the field is just a 9 route.
Just another thing about that kickoff, I just have to compliment Carter for actually still running and going towards the end zone, just playing till the whistle blew, instead of just not actually just stopping right there.
And they are going to call pass interference against the Woodlands on that penalty, so that's going to be a big one that'll move the football well into the Woodlands half of the field here. So some early adversity for the Highlander defense to try and overcome here. As the officials walk the football, they're going to spot it on the Highlander 31-yard line. Obviously going to be 1st and 10 after a pass interference penalty. Again, both of these teams going to move similarly. No huddle for both. 4 receivers in the game for spring right now. Woodlands playing 3-man on the defensive line. Slant route complete over the middle for a first down.
Brady Carlin right there on the tackle for the Woodlands.
Looked like Travis Sims Jr. on the reception for spring there. Again, just nothing fancy there, just a slant route. Good accurate throw by Davenport to find him. 4 receivers staying in the game. They're going to move quickly here with Davenport. 1st and 10 throw, out route, complete. Isaiah Johnson on the reception. That'll move it about 5 yards out, so 6 yards rather.
That was Ethan Winfield there on the tackle for the Woodlands, actually pushed him out of bounds, bringing on that 2nd down.
Again, 2nd and 4 on the scoreboard. We're at 11:24 on the game clock right now, first quarter of action. No score. So run up the middle. Going to push forward. It's going to be close to a first down. They may need to measure this. The spot appears to have the first down. They are kind of coming in around the 9-yard line. And that would give Spring a first down if that's the case. Official's going to call timeout down on the field. Looks like they do want to measure.
One thing about this Woodlands defense is they have been in district. They have led the entire district, our district, with sacks and tackles for losses. They just have they're pretty much are playing to defend the pass. They haven't been able to get to the quarterback with this 3-man front on the line right now.
Yeah, and that's something they'll obviously want to do as the game wears on. And the big-time players they have on defense for the Woodlands, like Bradley Warren, Martrell Harris, John Podowski, these are all players who've affected the backfield all year, and they're going to look to do just that here tonight. And again, they're going to absorb some of these early punches from Spring, see what's going on in the game, and we'll see how the Woodlands adjust. But they've got Spring has 4 receivers in the game now, 3
trips
to
left.
The near side, 1 up top. It is a first down. 1st and 10 play. Davenport going to throw over the middle, intercepted.
That's right.
At the 1-yard line by the Highlanders, coming away with the football. Is that Evan Dubin, number 3?
That is Evan. Evan right there, just right in the middle of the field, just was right. He was in the right spot, right time.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's also the homecoming king. I did the Woodlands homecoming game, and I am pretty sure he was also the homecoming king and coming up with a huge interception there.
Well, all hail King Dubin.
First big momentum play of the game, and Jackson, that can be what it's all about here in these playoff games, just one play like that. Again, Spring knocking on the door there. Of course, Matoyer wanting to move quickly here. The Woodlands out, 3 receivers.
1st and 10 on the 1.
Going to run up the middle with Reed. He's going to push it out about 5 or so yards. They'll probably mark that ball around the 6. Again, the Woodlands obviously deep in their own territory, doing a phenomenal job coming up with that interception to keep points off the board for Spring.
Good way to get right out of that end zone, just trying to push it a little bit. You don't want to try to you just don't want to keep yourself back there, especially passing, right, risking a safety. Just hand the ball off, get some yardage, get a little bit more comfortable.
3 receivers still in the game for the Woodlands. Is motion across the formation here for Matoyer. Going to look Reed's way again. Reed's going to try and bounce around the left side, but nothing going on there. That'll be no gain.
Yeah, he was met right back at the line of scrimmage. He was
like,
almost cut on that on the outside.
Yes, he was looking for an opportunity to bounce that one, but just didn't present itself there. Nice idea, but Spring defense doing a good job there. That'll bring up a 3rd and 5. We're at 9:45 and counting on the clock here in the first quarter.
Ooh, that's
some movement along the line.
There's no contact. They're trying to make him jump off sides. That's very great discipline by the Woodlands O-line.
4 receivers in the game. Matoyer back to pass here. He's going to tuck it and run, looking for that first down. Makes a move. He's got it. And he's into
got
the
some.
open field. And he's smartly getting himself down there. He's going to be out just past the 20-yard line. First down, Highlanders.
That was very smart of him to go ahead and take the slide. Just, you got the first down. You're comfortable. Nothing was there. Moved up in the pocket. Found an opening. Found that lane. Got into the second level. Good job by Matoyer.
And we spoke a little bit off air in the pregame about maturity and just kind of, Matoyer being a sophomore. And those are the kind of plays that just show the growth, his progression over the course of this year, being the man for the first time this
And he's
season.
a sophomore.
Absolutely. He's got all the tools. Reed, handoff. He's going to fight forward for a few. That was a good tough run by Reed there. Not much to work with there, but he keeps his legs moving, and he's going to get about 3 yards there. And that's one thing I've liked about Reed all year is he works really hard for his yards, and when he makes a cut, he means it. He gets straight up the field. There's no dancing, no messing around, and it's rare for a running back of his skill set to be able to do that because most of them just want to bounce everything around the outside, but Reed is really smart about the way he runs. 2nd and 6 on the board, under 8 minutes and 24 seconds on the first quarter clock here. Sweep to Reed, nowhere to run. He's going to spin off the tackle, trying to reverse field and do something amazing. But the spring defense too fast. They're going to swarm that one. That's going to be a big loss for the Highlanders. The ball's going to be marked all the way back at the 16 of the Highlanders.
I believe that was Elijah Fields on spring side, one of those D linemen we were going to keep an eye on, and I think that he was right there in lead on that first tackle. But Reed was actually able to break that, but still got that loss right there, unfortunately.
Yeah, so as mentioned, the ball spotted on the 16-yard line. The Woodlands deep in their own territory here. The original line of scrimmage is the 20, so the line to gain for the first down is the 30. Matoyer back to pass. Going to throw a corner out, but Spring has double covered, some contact there.
There's a flag.
Flag does come in. Ball was overthrown. We'll see.
That was intended for Tobin Miller.
Which of the calls they make, but there was definite contact while that ball was in the air against the Woodlands receiver there. Spring had it well covered, didn't need to do that. This will obviously be a huge break for the Woodlands if they can get this call here. Some discussion from the officials on the field. Pass interference call against Spring, huge for the Woodlands. First down.
You were right. He was right into double coverage, but they didn't need to hit him like that, especially right towards the end of that play.
No, and these are the details that decide playoff games. It's like little things like that. It's getting lined up correctly. It's not jumping off sides or false starting. It's not committing a pass interference when you've got a receiver double covered. Just little things are what decide playoff games. 3 receivers for the Woodlands, 1st and 10.
See some press at the top of the field.
When he run up the middle to Reed, he's going to plow forward for about 3 yards. The ball is spotted at the 34-yard line. Again, the Woodlands trying to work out from their own territory here. They started this drive on their own 1.
Moving north-south, left to right.
And we are at 7:14 and counting here in the first quarter tonight. 3-by-1 set, 3 receivers to the near side, 4 receivers in the game. Quick throw into the slot. Complete. It's going to be close to a first down. He's right on it at the 41-yard line. Look like on the catch.
Parker McGill.
Parker McGill.
Yep.
Again, just a really reliable set of skill players that the Woodlands has been able to count on all year.
Just moving the chains right now.
Looks like the Woodlands are going to make a pretty big personnel change here with several new players subbing into the game. Justin Sheldon, number 5, who serves as the backup quarterback. Now the Woodlands is going to go under center, show their kind of wing T style look that they like to do here. Split backfield. They're going to fake it, hand it off around the sweep. That's Jason Williams. Nicely designed play. He's going to run around the edge for about 9 yards. The ball's going to be spotted at midfield. So the Woodlands getting behind their big boys on the offensive line there, and they've worked their way fully out of trouble where they started this drive. Again, on their own 1-yard line now, all the way out to the midfield. Great job by the Woodlands.
Just a yard shy of the first down, but I like the fact you're giving the respect to those big boys up front. As a pear-shaped youth myself, we didn't get a lot of that recognition back in the day.
Absolutely. They deserve it. 3-by-1 formation, 4 receivers. Zone read.
it.
Matoyer's keeping it. He's
Go.
got a lot of room around the right side.
Get it.
He's all the way inside the 30. That's going to be a first down by plenty. Got a 30-yard gain there for Matoyer. Just zone read, keep. They establish read earlier, and then Matoyer pulls the string on the Lion defense there. Gets a huge gain. Extremely impressive drive so far by the Highlanders, Jackson.
Yeah. Just good drawing up that play fake. Matoyer just goes to the outside, finds that open lane, gets those yards, and just gets them right deep into their territory.
Split backfield here for Matoyer. They're going to motion another receiver into the backfield. They've got 3 receivers on the field.
Looking like they're covering with man.
Going to go Reed, power play up the middle. He gets loose for a little bit of yardage there. He's
They're
going to
still fighting.
They're still
Go.
pushing him forward. Wow. Again, the big boys doing the job, pushing Reed forward. He's going to have a first down. Going to be all the way down, looks like, to about the 17-yard line in the red zone.
Just playing till the whistle blows right there. Just following your guys, getting pushed, just fighting for those extra yards, and that's going to help you out more in the long run.
We have a timeout on the field. There's 5:31 on the clock here in the first quarter. Again, the Woodlands
Now in the red zone.
in the red zone after starting this drive on their own one. Humongous early drive from the Highlanders here. Exactly what you want to establish early, especially when you're facing a high-powered opponent like Spring. Again, we mentioned this in the pregame. The Woodlands knows all about what the Spring team in Davenport can do, particularly as they had 42 points scored against them in this same round last year. So they know full well the importance that these methodical drives will carry here tonight if they're able to use clock. But the important thing, of course, using clock is only good if you end it with points on the end of the drive and touchdown points, not field goal points.
Yes. And one thing also on the Spring side that they have been averaging about 52 points. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. And the fact that this Woodlands defense is trying to keep them from doing that, especially they've been on a 5-game winning streak. So I'm going to continue to keep an eye on this Woodlands defense to see how well they're going to outperform and try to just continue to make these stops as they did earlier this evening.
The teams are back out onto the field, ready to resume action. Again, the ball is spotted on the 17, 1st and 10 for the Highlanders. 5:31 on our game clock here in the first quarter. Still no score here tonight. Woodlands looking to draw first. 3 receivers on the field. Jabari Reed next to Matoyer, Tobin Miller in the slot.
Had a lot on the line.
Quarterback draw, but nothing there. He's just going to go down, preserve himself and the ball. It's going to be about a 2-yard loss, though, for the Highlanders.
Spring is stacking a lot of linemen in that box. Well, not just linemen, but the linebackers. They're stacking a lot of people up there. Hopefully that they can try to dominate, execute, and try to, get a good, nice little quick pass, maybe find an open man into the end zone.
Absolutely. The Woodlands does a lot of the bubble-type screens. Spring kind of going more all-out on defense, showing kind of almost a zero coverage look right now in the secondary. Very aggressive, as you mentioned. 2nd and 13. 4 receivers in the game, 2-by-2 set for Matoyer. Is some movement.
Nope,
Matoyer's going to take the play. He's going to throw, looking for Camden Cash. It is caught. He's going to move it down to the 10-yard line. Nice throw and catch. Good play by Cash.
I thought that they were going to have a flag on the play. It looked like one of those D linemen for Spring jumped early. I think that was Henderson right there.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 3. It looks like it's going to be marked as on the scoreboard here tonight. 4 minutes, 21 seconds and counting in the first quarter tonight.
Ball on the 10.
2-by-2 set, 4 receivers in the game for the Highlanders. Matoyer going to look to the sideline for more instruction. Very important play, to say the least. Back to pass. Matoyer looking for any kind of opening, but nothing's there. Late flag does come in as Matoyer sacked for about a 4-yard loss, but we'll have to see what the flag is.
Yeah.
Find our head official here as they confer on the field to give us the call. Again, that was a 3rd and 3 play. Matoyer sacked in the backfield for about a 4 or 5-yard loss was the result pending this penalty.
The pocket just looked like collapsed on him and trying to extend this play.
Personal foul. Defense.
Personal foul against Spring, another huge call. That's 2 huge penalties against Spring on this drive that have given the Woodlands some extra life, and they will gladly oblige. The official walks off the penalty yardage. I'll let you know where they're spotting the ball here. Personal foul, of course, 15 yards. Absolutely huge. So the football is going to be placed at the 5-yard line. 1st down and goal for the Highlanders. Just again, these are the kind of things that are just so important in playoff games. Matoyer subbed off the field, so we should see the under center look, and we are. Tight formation for the Woodlands, no receivers. Pitch to Williams. He's going to look to get around the right side, but Spring's all over it. Good play in the backfield by the Lions. It's going to be a loss of about 2 or so yards. And again, one of these guys you mentioned in the pregame, Jackson Henderson, all over it.
Yeah, it's just fighting with all those linemen, just even keeping everything. The momentum was just going to the right side of the field, and there's just no movement right there. And unfortunately, they just took that little loss.
Yep, no gap for Williams to get into there. Just one of those kind of student body plays. You get everybody around the edge, try and open up that crease to sneak into. 4 receivers now for the Highlanders in the game. 2nd and 7. Matoyer didn't quite get what he wanted to on that throw. Falls short of the intended man.
Just hit the ground.
So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line for the Highlanders now.
I believe that was to Ferguson right there, one of his top weapons that he likes to find in the end zone.
Absolutely. Ferguson just reliable all year, and I've really enjoyed watching him play football. There's another penalty on Spring, it looks like, coming in. I didn't see the flag come in.
I didn't see it either.
And I want to say they signaled offsides.
Half the distance to the goal. So it'll be still second down, but it's 2nd and 3. Maybe they could punch it in right here.
So we are at 3 minutes and 3 seconds and counting here in the first quarter. 4 receivers into the game. That's a trips look to the top side of the formation for the Woodlands. Matoyer's going to take it, quarterback sweep. He's going to look for space.
Get it!
Shrugs off
He
first
got
special.
it!
Touchdown Woodlands. Matoyer gets the corner.
He even broke that tackle right there.
Matoyer just runs through that first tackle and gets the corner. Welcome to trying to defend him, Spring. They probably thought they had him there. Square hit on him, but Matoyer just shrugs it off like it's nothing. Puts the first points on the board for the Highlanders. Just an immense drive there for the Woodlands. Taking all kinds of time off the clock. We're at 2:51 now in the first quarter as Sims comes on to tack on this PAT.
And let's not forget, this started at the 1 in the Woodlands' own territory. They started on the 1-yard line, 99 yards downfield. A couple things favored them, those penalties, but still, just being able to just chew some clock, move down the field, and get that touchdown right here in the first quarter.
This humongous drive, and Sims tacked on the point after attempt, so the score is the Woodlands 7, Spring 0 with 2:51 remaining here in the first quarter. As you mentioned, that's what we call a big boy drive. I mean, just as big as it gets. Start on your own 1-yard line, and that'll get everybody fired up down there on the sideline. And if they weren't ready to play football, they will be after watching that drive.
And we're just looking at seeing the replay right there on the scoreboard, and that was Braylon Wiltz who was tackling Matoyer, but he just continued to drive with his legs, even though he was wrapped up at his legs, still fought through and just wasn't going to quit on that. He saw the end zone. He had reservations for 6. He got in there. That's why we have a lead right now.
Yeah, never skip leg day, and that's the reason why. It enables you to run through those tackles. So you kids out there listening, as soon as you start lifting weights, stay on that leg press machine.
Mm-hmm.
Sims has placed the ball down for us here to kick it away for the Highlanders. And again, a big warning sent by Spring on the first kick return of the game where it looked to be a kick return for a touchdown. But
that was Myron Carter.
Ran out of bounds, so we'll see what the Highlanders do with this one. Ooh, kind of a half pooch, but it's going to be fielded, and there's another big gap here on the same side of the field that they're going to get him out of bounds around the 37-yard line. So Spring will start on their own 37, but again, the Woodlands is going to want to address this at halftime. It's a Harrison DePasquale.
He was there on that tackle. Just good job by him, just trying to stay with his man, bringing him down, not letting them get back into their own territory, giving Spring great field position. So it's good to see that they are in Spring territory starting this drive. It's on the 35. That's fine. Better than starting it on the Woodlands 35.
Yeah, certainly. Don't want to have the opponent starting in your half of the field, so Spring's going to come out empty backfield here. They're moving right to left as we look at the action from the press box here. Davenport back to pass. Quick throw, looked like it hit the ground. It is incomplete. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
That was Caden Miller who was defending right there.
And another Caden Bradley was the intended receiver for the Lions there, number 3 for the Lions.
Another one thing about all the Spring wide receivers, they're all seniors. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong on that one. That was the hot receivers for the Woodlands. They're all seniors right now. I was wrong on that. My apologies.
Again, 5 receivers set in the game here for Spring on this 2nd and 10. Again, attempted pass over the middle, but overthrown, going to fall incomplete. In the Woodlands, starting to affect the backfield a little bit more on this possession. It's David Afani, a junior linebacker that looked to apply some pressure on Davenport in the Lion backfield there. So we have 3rd and 10, so a chance for the Woodlands to get themselves off the field here. 2:38 to go in the first quarter. Again, 5 receivers for Spring in the game. Draw by Davenport.
There it is. There it is.
Interesting play call from Spring there. I'm not sure I would recommend that against this Woodlands front, but of course the Highlanders not complaining about that choice. So the punt return team is going to come out onto the field here for the Woodlands. And that's going to be junior defensive back Cooper Stark back to receive this punt for the Woodlands. Looks like he'll be a single return man. The Woodlands kind of keeping somewhat of a defense out on the field to guard against any kind of fake.
And I found he got in the backfield right there and just was – he wasn't able to get the sack on Davenport, but he was able to slow him down and just was able to finish that play and bring on that 4th down.
Yeah, it's a 4th and 7 here for Spring. Woodlands close to getting a hand on that. Not a great punt. It's going to be short. They're trying to get away from the football here. It's going to bounce and take a little bit of a favorable bounce for Spring there. It's going to be downed at the 31-yard line, so the Woodlands will start on their own 31 here. 1:45 to go in the first quarter here tonight. And again, the Highlanders leading 7-0 on the scoreboard early in this game. And a chance here to try and add to it if they can put together another beautiful drive like they did on their first possession of the night. Matoyer out here with a split backfield and 3 receivers in his formation to start this 1st and 10.
Spring's looking like they're not going to be so tight on that coverage as they were in the first opening drive.
Yeah, they're actually playing with a safety right now. But Reed up the middle on that attempt. He's going to gain 2 yards, and that's it. Spring trying to stay stout up the middle. Doing a good job of that so far, of course, led by the man we've mentioned a lot already here tonight, Gerald Henderson, on that defensive line. Again, just physically impressive when you look at the Spring front. And of course, the Woodlands offensive line, very impressive themselves, so it's really just a big-time matchup unfolding in the trenches. 4 receivers in the formation for the Highlanders, 2nd and 8. Matoyer going to read it with Jabari Reed. Reed up the middle. He's going to be close to the first down.
Ball's out
late. Spring's going to recover it.
He's still up
Woodlands
there.
Trying to wrestle him down. He's still alive. Late flag comes in behind that, so all kinds of things going on this play. Reed appeared to be very close to the first down, but it popped out there late.
Let's see what the referees have to say. Miller was there trying to get the recovery of the fumble.
Flag was thrown after the fumble was recovered. Personal foul face mask against the Woodlands. It will be first down to Spring. So we've had 2 turnovers in the football game now, 1 apiece for each team. The Woodlands intercepting Davenport on the first drive of the game. And now the Woodlands giving one back to them on a Reed fumble. And to make matters worse, on the end of that, they get a huge penalty tacked onto it. So Spring's going to start this possession on the Woodlands 35-yard line after all that crazy action. And Davenport's going to have 4 receivers in the game now to start this drive, 1st and 10. In 52 seconds left in the first quarter as this drive starts. Empty backfield now. They're going to shift the running back out.
I'm playing some guys deep on the Woodlands side. There's a little bubble screen right there.
Bubble screen complete. It's going to gain some yardage. Well tackled by Brady Carlin, junior DB there for the Woodlands, making sure he gets that guy down. Because again, when you play these spread teams, you've got to tackle as defensive backs, because if you don't, there's no help. And that usually ends up in a touchdown. So it's going to be 2nd and 5 now for the Lions, 5 wide in the set. Again, both teams moving no huddle. So we got fast action for you here tonight.
Woodlands only keeping 3 guys on the D-line right now.
Quick throw, but the receiver wasn't ready for it. A little bit of an opportunity there for the Woodlands as that bounces harmlessly to the turf. Again, the ball is on the 30-yard line. Line to gain is the 25, so this will bring up a 3rd and 5 for Spring. We aren't sure what kind of kicking game Spring has, but this would be a long field goal from here. It would be a 47-yard field goal. Count 7 yards for the snap, plus 10 in the end zone. Empty backfield again for Davenport, 5 wide.
Looks like Woodlands is going to try to blitz right there.
Showing blitz, they are bringing pressure up the middle. Flag comes in.
There is a false start.
Woodlands signaling against Spring. They want the false start and think they're going to get it. And they do. Back up Spring 5 more yards. So that is a huge change in proceedings here. 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10 is a major difference, Jackson.
Yeah. Woodlands right now, they're trying to just defend this pass. What I'm noticing right now is they're keeping 5 D-backs. They have 2 safeties there and just 3 guys on the front line. So pretty much nickel-style defense. 18
seconds remaining in the first quarter. Spring lines up again. Empty backfield, making heavy use of this 5-receiver set here tonight. Davenport back to pass, some pressure applied. He's running around trying to find space to run. Woodlands is going to tackle him short of the first down. He gets to the 30, but no further.
That was John Podolsky right there on that tackle.
4th and 5, absolutely. Podolsky, one of the senior leaders on this team. He's been doing it all year. Does it again there. That's going to be the end of our first quarter here tonight with the Woodlands leading 7-0 on the scoreboard. Spring facing a 4th and 5 that you have to think they're going for it, just given the location on the field.
Makes you curious because what you were just talking about earlier, wondering about how their kicker does, and I'll do a little bit of research, check out Max Preps to see what their kicker has done so far this season.
Again, the pregame, we mentioned the two previous meetings that these two teams had against one another in this same round prior to tonight. Again, the Woodlands beating Spring 17-0 in 2019. And then Spring followed that up last year with a 42-21 win. And Spring rode their momentum all the way to the third round against DeSoto, where they lost a 27-21 heartbreaker against the DFW powerhouse last year. So Spring obviously coming into these playoffs looking to continue that momentum they started last year, but Woodlands Highlanders coming out here tonight so far playing well to start this game, but they need to step up big time on this 4th down and keep Spring away from points here. 5 wide for Spring as we line up. Davenport back pass. It's looking over the middle, has his man complete. That's going to be a first down all the way down to about the 11-yard line.
We might have an official timeout in a second. Brady Carlin was in on that tackle with that team tackle right there, and that was a pretty good hit by both of them.
See, people are all up and ready to go again. Next play, 5 wide again. Spring's going to snap it, throw out. Ooh. Nearly jumped the route. There's the Woodlands. Great play by the defensive back, making a play on that ball. Yeah. Get a number down there.
That was Winfield. That was Ethan Winfield. Just got that jump. He just wasn't there 100%, but just got a hand on it, at least got the deflection, and that's what really matters.
Yes, and as expected, just competitively, this game's being played at a very high level so far here tonight. Again, as Spring lines up 2nd and 10, 11:35 on the clock in the second quarter, empty backfield for Davenport. Gonna go quick to the left side, bounces off the receiver again, incomplete. And as I watch Davenport make these throws, Jackson, I'm thinking more and more that the Woodlands is gonna have additional opportunities for interceptions here tonight on some of these throws.
Yeah, Davenport has a nice touch on the ball, but he's not really slinging it in there. Just enough time for these D-backs to just try to jump the route as what Winfield was doing earlier.
Yeah, and it seems like even on these short routes that they're not developing really in time, and the receivers aren't quite ready to receive the ball. He hit one in the back a few plays ago. 5 wide. Again, Spring looking at home in this empty backfield formation. 3rd and 10.
Ooh.
Davenport drops it. The Woodlands
got
him in the backfield. Great job. Was that Podolsky again? Who is that?
Yep, that was Podolsky. Got that sack.
4th and 10 after that big-time play by Podolsky, because if he doesn't make that tackle, there's a nice little lane for Davenport to probably score.
They're bringing the field goal unit out on the field. It's going to be Ruben Ruiz.
At 11 minutes, 7 seconds on the second quarter clock and counting down here. Spring tries to secure their first points of the evening. Teams get set here for the snap. Snap is back, good hold, kick is up. Appears to have the leg, it's good. So that will make our score the Woodlands 7, Spring 3 with 10 minutes, 47 seconds left on the second quarter clock. So while the Lions get on the board, they only get 3.
I was doing more stats, doing a little research on Spring's kicker, because it would have been a 47 attempt earlier. The longest he's done so far has been a 45, so probably not in his range at the time. So obviously they went for it on 4th down. They got the conversion, but Woodlands defense was able to stop him in the red zone, only allowed 3. I'd call that a win for this drive.
Absolutely. Against an offense like this, that is most definitely a win. You're going to give up plays when you're spread out the way Spring does that to the defense. It's like they will make plays here and there, and as a defense, you've just got to keep your head in the game and understand that you're going to give up plays over the course of the game, but the key is don't give up the big plays. In particular, don't give up the big touchdown plays, and you'll be okay.
They have 3 back for the return for the Woodlands right now.
Yep, 3 back on that return game. It looks like Jason Williams up at the top. And that is Parker McGill in the middle, and Cooper Stark down at the bottom. As the 3 return men in the Woodlands is keeping some people up, guarding against a onside, but it is kick deep. Stark's going to field it. He's going to look for room around the right side.
Go!
Cuts up the middle. He finds a little bit of space. He's going to get out across the 35. About the 36-yard line is where they're going to spot that ball. And that's decent field position there for the Highlanders.
15-yard return. Not bad.
Very good. It's Matoyer back out with the Highlander offense here. Looks like they're going to start with
See Jacoby Mitchell's out there now.
4 receiver set. Good observation there. Yeah, Mitchell into the backfield, and Mitchell's got a little bit more of a classic power back look about him when I've seen him run this year. 4 receiver set for the Woodlands, trips to the top side of the formation, single man down to the bottom. They are going to hand to Mitchell around the left side. He's got space. He stumbles a little bit, makes the first man miss. Good job of tough running by Mitchell there. Be about a 6-yard gain. Good start to the drive. Positive play.
Found his footing. Like you said, he was stumbling right there. Found his footing. Recovered. Broke the tackle. Still got there. 5 yards, 6 yards. Yeah, good 6-yard carry right there.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 4 here for the Highlanders. Ball on the 42-yard line. 4 receivers, 2x2 set with the receivers here for the Highlanders. Mitchell remaining in the game at running back alongside Matoyer in the backfield.
Trying to make the offensive line jump. They're trying to do that, but they're still good discipline.
Again, working the physical game. Up the middle run there with Mitchell. He's going to gain a few yards, and that's just purely on surge there from the Woodlands offensive line. It's going to be marked close to a first down. Appears to have it. That looks like a chain mover. Some first down signals coming in from the Woodlands sideline if the officials needed any help here tonight. And that will move the chains. First down and 10 for the Woodlands. Good tough run by Mitchell. Didn't look like there was a ton there initially. It looked like almost a pure surge kind of play.
Mm-hmm. Just a good surge play, just running in between the tackles.
Yeah, Matoyer snaps it. He's going to go back up the middle again. Really trying to work between the tackles so far tonight, the Highlanders. And again, they're going to plow forward for about 3 yards when there really wasn't a whole lot there. Just think maybe part of the game plan here for the Woodlands tonight, maybe try and tire out some of these hosses that Spring's lining up along the D-line here.
Just a little Operation Ground and Pound right now. Just keeping the rock, feeding your running backs.
Yeah, 2nd and 7 here on the down and distance. Yeah, it definitely feels like they're setting things up for later on for sure. Just leaning on him here, pounding on him early in the game, wearing him down. There's going to be a sweep now. No room to run, though. Spring does a good job covering the edge. That was Jason Williams on the carry for the Highlanders. No gain on the play. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 now. So we are at 8:38 and counting in the 2nd quarter. Again, the Woodlands leading 7-3 on the scoreboard here tonight. Again, the Woodlands really trying to throw the Spring defensive line off the scent with all these running plays. But now they're obvious pass situation, 4 receivers, 2 to each side of the formation. So Matoyer is going to look to the sideline to pick up some instructions, make sure they get the best play possible.
Spring's looking like they're going to be pressing right now.
Pressing on the outside, 2 deep in coverage. There's over the middle.
Woo!
Very
Get
accurate
it!
throw. Bounces
Get
off.
it!
Ferguson's going to go. He's all the way inside the red zone. First down and plenty more for the Highlanders. Great catch and run by
31
Ferguson.
yards.
Yeah, we mentioned it. It was a heavy press on the outside, as you observed there. Jackson, 2 deep coverage by the safety, so there was a hole there over the middle to be exploited, and Ferguson was right in that space he had to be. Highlanders moving quickly here, 1st and 10. Ball on the 18-yard line, snap for Matoyer. Little bit of confusion there. He's going to get the throw out there complete. Good job of making something out of nothing there, and that's going to be another first down for the Highlanders.
Back to Ferguson.
Back to Ferguson. They're going to spot that at the 4-yard line, so the Highlanders very much in business after 2 nice pass plays. And again, I'm not sure that action unfolded quite how the Highlanders had it designed, but Matoyer gets the throw out. Ferguson does the rest. They're on the 4-yard line again, moving very quickly. 4 receivers in the game.
Trying to draw him off sides again. That's very, very good.
First and goal for the Woodlands on the 4-yard line. 7:28 on our clock and counting down towards halftime here. Woodlands trying to add to a 7-3 lead. Matoyer sweep. Going to try and power it in like he did the first time. He's going to be just short. They're going to come in right about the 1-yard line, nearly there for Matoyer. We'll see if he does the same thing again here on this next play, or if they bring out the under center kind of wing style formation. Matoyer remaining in the game so far, he generally comes out when they do go to that formation.
I think Coach is going to let Matoyer finish this one out.
Yeah, no reason to mess about here. Matoyer or Mitchell just go up the middle, get behind the big guys, send a message.
They're going under center.
Tight formation. Wedge play.
Boom.
They're going to push it in. That looks to be a touchdown from here. And it's signaled touchdown Highlanders. Matoyer QB sneak, his second of the night. Second touchdown. The Highlanders now lead 13-3 on the scoreboard with 6:39 to go in the second quarter. Again, very big drive response from the Woodlands to add to their lead here tonight. Sims puts the tee down to try and tack on the PAT here.
Just good job by the Woodlands. Getting a nice little balance between the pass and the run game.
Sims sends that one up into the construction. It is good. So that'll take our score to 14-3, the Woodlands. And again, Spring received the opening kickoff. A little bit early to mention this, but the Woodlands will receive to start the third quarter here tonight. So for those of you planning ahead a little bit.
The wind is starting to pick up it down here on the field as I'm looking at the south end zone where the flags are.
Yes, that is a good observation, looking at the goalpost flags in addition to the American flag behind the video board. Definite north to south wind, it looks like, based on that.
Maybe that's why they haven't been passing as much as they have been in the opening drive.
Yeah, the Woodlands were going into the wind on that drive. Right to left as we watch it from the press box here. And Sims will be placing the ball down now to kick it back to Spring. And again, kickoffs have been a really dicey prospect, so I'm not sure if the Woodlands is going to make an adjustment here, if they're going to have to get to halftime to do that. But this has been the main danger zone of the game for the Highlanders so far, have been these kickoffs. So we'll see what Sims does with it.
I'm seeing Myron Carter and Joey Fussell for Spring back deep to receive the kick.
Sims going to kick it again. Pooch style, going to be fielded around the 25-yard line. Woodlands coverage not really there, though, to hit him right when he caught it.
Just only 10 right there on the return. Give Spring a generous start on this drive right here.
Yeah, looks like the ball will be spotted. Be the 39-yard line, or no, they'll walk it back a little bit. It's going to be the 37 where they're going to put the ball down, so not quite as close to the 40 as it looked like it may initially be spotted. But again, I think that's a definite adjustment that the Highlanders are going to go into halftime and make in terms of how they handle these kickoffs, because really, other than the kickoffs, I mean, the Highlander defense has responded well here so far tonight, not allowing the explosive plays. Davenport comes out here for this first and 10, 5 receivers in the formation. Again, Spring kind of not really showing a running game here tonight with running back. Play's going to be whistled dead as it gets started.
Spring's looking to pass a lot right now. And Woodlands is just going to continue to just keep 3 on the line and just have enough defensive backs just hanging around, just trying to defend.
Dan Jackson, another penalty going against Spring there. Looks like illegal substitution was the call, so that's going to back him up 5 yards, make it first and 15.
All right.
I didn't see the flag come in, but I watched the lead official signal that to us. Again, Spring moving from our left to right as we look at it from up here in the booth. 5 receivers again in the formation. Davenport looking to pass. Pressure from Bradley Warren, doesn't quite get there. Warren stays with it and comes from behind, still makes the play. Davenport moves up to the original line of scrimmage. Just shows you can't count Bradley Warren out of a play. He missed the initial attempt at a sack there, applying pressure, but stays with the play and gets him in the end.
That was Bradley Warren and David Ifanyi that were there that just stuck with him and was able to finally bring it back down at the 37.
In second and 10 here, down in distance, Spring staying in that 5 wide, empty backfield. Back
Podolsky
pass.
on that swim move. He's almost there.
A lot of time there. Too much time for Davenport. He's going to complete. He's going to be up the sidelines.
No.
Wow, that is some serious speed being showed by Spring. That's going to be touchdown Lions. That's number 3, Caden Bradley, senior receiver. Caught it on the sideline and then just hit the burners, and he wasn't going to be caught, showing some just amazing acceleration up the sideline there.
63-yard reception right there.
Yeah, and we talked a second ago about, the Woodlands having done a good job not allowing the explosive plays, but they give one up there.
They're hugging the sideline and just was able to just get through there and just find that open field. And man, that kid was fast.
Very fast acceleration. So the score now, pending the PAT, 14-9 for the Woodlands. PAT is up and good, so our score now is the Woodlands 14, Spring 10. There's 5:48 to go on the second quarter clock here. And again, that was a play where Davenport was just afforded way too much time to kind of pick out his receiver and eventually worked his way over to Bradley on the far sideline, the Spring sideline. Bradley, good job pulling that ball in on that far sideline and then just took it, accelerated, ran by everyone to the end zone.
Well, the pocket was collapsing on him. He rolled left, and Podolsky was just coming in on it. He just wasn't there quite on time. Unfortunate.
Yeah, and again, with Spring staying in this empty backfield set, everybody on the Woodlands is going to be spread out all game long. And just when you play against this kind of offense, it's going to work the entire field like that and keep you spread out. It's like you've got to make everybody in the secondary has to make one-on-one plays, and that's a really difficult task against an offense with the kind of talent that Spring's putting on the field here tonight. Is Spring kicker here places the ball down, kick it back off to the Woodlands. And for Spring, that's number 34, Ruben Reese, senior. He's going to send it deep. Again, looks like that'll be Stark on the reception. Gonna try and find some room here. Gets up the middle, bouncing around left side. He nearly broke into the open field there. He'll be tackled around the 37-yard line.
27-yard return.
Good return. Nearly busted it loose. And again, good positive starting field position for the Woodlands offense, just outside of what we call the anything goes zone, which is starts about when you get to your own 40-yard line. From 40 to 40, that's where we say the offense can run any play in the book. So they're only 3 yards shy of that, being in the freewheeling zone here. 4 receivers for Matoyer.
See Mitchell still in the game right now.
Yep, Mitchell remaining in the game. 5:42 to go until halftime. 2-by-2 set with the receivers for the Highlanders. Parker McGill motioning into the H-back's position. It's going to be a power look. And Mitchell's going to take that one, going to do a good tough run up the middle, going to fall forward for about 8 yards. They're going to spot the ball on the 45-yard line.
That was Gerard Henderson on that tackle. Feel that up here.
And there is a flag that comes in, thrown into the middle of the line. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll get the signal here. Personal foul, face mask against Spring. So the Lions have just been their own worst enemy a little bit here tonight.
That's what's going to cost you, just these kinds of penalties. Just going to push you back further and further, and it'll be one of those things that whenever they finally get back and look at the tape at the end of the season, just, hey, this is, we're better than this. We know that we can't be making these same mistakes every game.
The ball now into Spring territory, spotted on the Spring 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for Matoyer, 5:22 and counting until halftime here. 4 receivers in the Woodlands will do those penalty walks all game as long as that stays in their favor like it has been. Quick flare out to Ferguson. Run substitute, basically a sweep. He catches it, gets around the left side, close to another first down, depending on whether it's a left foot or a right foot spot. I've got a pretty good view of the line there, and it's going to be very close, maybe 4 inches short, 6 inches short. Like maybe actually a full yard.
I trust you. It's 6 inches.
Yeah, we'll call it 6 inches.
We're going to call it 6.
Yeah.
We're giving the Woodlands a generous 6 right there.
So 2nd and 1, 4 receivers in the game for the Highlanders. Ball spotted on the 31-yard line. The line to gain is the 30.
Mitchell's
First
back
down.
in the backfield for him.
Mitchell remaining in the game. Matoyer's looking deep. He's going to throw an out route. Ooh, not quite on the same page with the receiver there, intended up at the top side. That was Williams, Jason Williams, the intended man.
It was wide open.
Yeah, had him open. Did a good job getting into space. Matoyer, good job finding him. Looked to be maybe going for kind of a touchdown type of throw initially and then checked down to Williams. 4:27 until halftime on the clock. 3rd and 1 down in distance. Again, the Woodlands, so you can visualize at home, moving right to left as we watch the action in the press box. Moving into the north end zone, the construction site there. 3 receivers. They're going to hand it to Williams going back across the formation. He's going to do a good job sticking his foot in the ground. First down. He's going to get down to the 24-yard line of Spring on that carry. Nice job of not messing about there and knowing that he needs to get the first down. Sticks his foot in the ground, gets straight up the field.
He let him make the first move and then just got that first down, got the extra yardage. That was a great read by him.
1st and 10 for the Highlanders, moving back very near the red zone of Spring here. 4 receivers in the formation. We're moving to the 4-minute mark remaining in the second quarter here tonight. The Woodlands leading 14-10. It's going to be zone read. Matoyer's going to keep it. Go around the left side. Steps over a man. He'll be marked out at the 22, so that'll be, in the end, just a gain of a couple, but nice athleticism from Matoyer there. Getting out of bounds. Going to stop the clock at 3:57. Bring up a 2nd and 8.
That was only just 2 yards. It was still an exciting play right there.
Absolutely. Again, Matoyer with 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdown runs on the night. QB sneak the last one. 4 receivers in the game here as they check with the sideline. 2 receivers to each side of the formation for the Woodlands.
Yeah, safety deep in center field for Spring.
You have single high showing a bit of a 3-deep look. Matoyer going to take it around the left.
Just throws it away.
Not sure if that was a busted play or if it just didn't develop the way they anticipated, but regardless, it'll be 3rd and 8 now, down in distance. Clock stopped at 3:51. Four receivers in the game here, 2 to each side of the formation. 2-by-2 set, as I call it. Mitchell remaining in the game at running back. Subbed in for Reed on the last drive and has stayed in since. Matoyer back to pass. Some pressure coming up the middle. He evades it smartly. He's going to look for McGill. A lot of contact down there. Is it picked off? It is picked off by Spring. There was a lot of contact between the two of them, but I guess they called it mutual. And so that'll be a touchback after that interception. Again, Matoyer did a great job evading pressure directly up the middle on that.
Yeah, that was Henderson that came through.
And again, tried to give Parker McGill a chance to make a play, which obviously you're not going to fault, but just a good defensive play made by the Spring DB, just staying alert there and hauling in that interception. So Spring Lions will start this possession on their own 20. And we have 3:43 on our clock until halftime here. Again, the Woodlands leading on the scoreboard by a score of 14-10 so far here tonight. The defense has got to come back out on the field and do more work here after that turnover in possession. So 2 turnovers for the Woodlands tonight. 1 fumble, 1 interception. Again, Spring staying empty backfield. Davenport back to pass. Looking deep down the top sideline, has separation. It's complete. And again, that's Caden Bradley, the touchdown scorer. They found a matchup, and they're going after it right now.
They're attacking it.
And that's going to be a first down gain all the way to the Woodlands 36-yard line is where that's going to be spot.
They're going to need to keep somebody over there, especially when he's trying to go to the top of the field.
Again, going quickly. Davenport's going to QB draw this time up the middle. Going to get positive yardage. And again, Spring now looking to kind of keep the Woodlands on skates a little bit defensively now that they've softened them up a little bit with those big pass plays. Again, this is what you get with 5 receivers. They're going to go after matchups.
Trying to keep that 2-minute drive style, even though we haven't hit the 2-minute drill yet, but it looks like what they're doing is just that hurry-up offense.
And there's another QB draw for Davenport. He's going to have a first down. That's going to be spotted on the 24-yard line of the Woodlands as we near the 3-minute mark to go until half. Again, as mentioned a few minutes ago, Spring received the opening kick. So it will be the Woodlands ball to start the second half. Spring trying to take the lead here tonight for the first time. If they can punch it in here for a touchdown. Davenport back to pass. Has a lot of time. Going to throw up to the top side of the formation. Going to be overthrown out of the back of the end zone. Incomplete.
Looking for Bradley again.
Yeah, he's Definitely seems to have found his guy that he thinks is going to be the one to go to here tonight.
So earlier it was Brady Carlin who was working corner, and then now they moved over and have Caden Miller on him right now.
Again, staying in this 5-wide look. 2nd and 10, 2:41 on the clock until halftime here. Back to pass, Davenport looking over the middle. Going to be incomplete. Woodlands defenders nearly working in tandem there to have a chance at maybe picking that off, but ultimately falls to the turf harmlessly.
Well, the interception they had earlier was right there in the middle of the field.
Again, massive 3rd down coming up here for the Highlanders. 3rd and 10, 2:37 on the clock until half. If they can keep Spring away from the 1st down marker here, just be an absolutely enormous play again to keep 6 points off the board. One of the key defensive plays in the game so far here right now. 5 wide for Spring. Davenport back to pass, looking over the middle, has a complete pass. That's going to be a 1st down. Looked
Travis Sims Jr.
Yep, number 11 on the reception for Spring. Sims Jr., senior. Again, just slant route, nothing fancy there.
Getting the completion, extend the drive.
Yep, getting into the hole of the defense, and that's going to be ball spot. Looks like at the 12-yard line, if I'm reading that correctly.
Making some substitutions. I think they're going to add more on the defensive line for the Woodlands. Looks like it. No, they're just keeping the 3 guys on the line.
Going to be a wildcat sweep here for Spring. Going around the right side, has some room, space, touchdown Lions. And that is number 17, Joey Fussell Jr. on that catch, senior running back for Spring. They went into that wildcat look there, just ran a sweep around the right side of the defense. Got the seal blocks they needed on the edge, and with 2:06 to go until halftime, the score is now Spring 16, the Woodlands 14. Pending the point after try here from the Lions. Kick is up and good. So the score is now Spring 17, the Woodlands 14 with 2:06 to go until halftime. That's 14 unanswered points now for the Lions. And the Highlanders led 14-3, but Spring using the quick strike pass on their last score, and then this one, they opened the drive up with another big pass, and then methodically worked their way in from there to put another touchdown on the board. So that's 2 touchdowns and a field goal here for Spring tonight.
Well, just getting the turnover and turning some points out of that turnover, back-to-back drives, touchdowns. Davenport to Bradley on the streak, and then you just had the Fussell touchdown, Wildcat rush right there.
And the good news for the Woodlands here tonight is that they have an offense that's equally as capable in terms of generating explosive plays either by pass or by land in the running game. So they've been in high-scoring games in non-district against Langham Creek and against Bridgeland, so nothing new here for the Woodlands tonight. Highlanders should not be fazed at all by this kind of game, again being played at a very high level. Spring puts the ball down, ready to kick it back to the Highlanders here. Pooch kick. He fielded on the top side of the formation there for the Woodlands. Going to take a big hit out of bounds there. Be spot around the 30-yard line. So the Woodlands will start this drive 70 yards away from pay dirt with 2:03 on the clock until half. So plenty of time for this kind of offense to run a 2-minute drill here. It's what they do naturally. They're actually going to spot the ball on the 29-yard line to make that 71 yards to go to pay dirt. Look like Matoyer and the Highlanders will start here in a 4-receiver set, 2 to each side of the formation.
Looking like a play change right there.
Yep, and we'll check with me to the sideline for Matoyer.
See that Reed's back in the backfield.
Good to see him back in, no problems, hopefully. There's Reed, going to take it, first carry. Going to push out for a few yards there. Spot the ball around the 32-yard line. 2nd and 7 coming up. Again, the Woodlands has all 3 timeouts remaining. Spring has 2 timeouts remaining in the half. 4-receiver set on the field again for the Woodlands.
Let's get something going, guys. Come on.
This feels like Ben Ferguson time. Again, the Woodlands allowing the clock to run as we are at 1:30 now remaining in the half. seemingly in no rush here. At least not with this play.
Spring's looking like they were going to bring that blitz right there.
Matoyer is going to look deep over the middle. Has his man. That's
go.
Complete. Going to be into Spring territory.
That was Ferguson.
And we just called it. Ben Ferguson. Mr. Reliable himself. And that's going to move the ball to the Spring 41-yard line and move the chains, most importantly. The clock is continuing to run. The Woodlands not stopping it so far.
About a 22-yard reception right there.
4 receivers. Matoyer back to pass. He's going to draw, though. Up the middle. He's into space.
Go!
He's going to move it. Stays on his feet. Going to fall down right about the 26-yard line of Spring. Another big play. You've got to think they're stopping the clock here now.
Looks that way. I don't see.
Nope.
Nope.
Clock's still running. Now it's going to stop. Timeout Woodlands.
Not letting that last drive really effective right there. I think that they are going the lasso approach. If you know Coach Ted Lasso, be a goldfish.
Absolutely, yeah. Ted Lasso, one of my heroes. Yeah, thoroughly enjoy.
Wish I could grow that mustache.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the believe sign that he slaps, and of course that's what the Woodlands is going to be looking to do here. Hit that believe sign and believe you can put 6 more points up here before halftime, which would be huge, of course, for the Highlanders to be able to reclaim the lead and that momentum as we head into the locker room. Again, what we're witnessing here in Bi District is, I mean, these teams are third or, this is at least a third round kind of caliber playoff game in terms of the level of competitiveness and the talent that these two teams have. But we're, because of the funny way that the districts kind of fall out in the way the UIL does the 2-bracket playoff alignment, we're seeing it here in the first round. I looked at the Division I bracket in detail, and this is by far the best bi-district matchup, and we're seeing it play out down here on the field. 1st and 10, 4 receivers. Matoyer back to pass. Looking over the middle again. Going to put the ball in there. It's going to be caught. Does he stay on his feet?
They didn't call him down. They didn't. Well, they're saying that he was down right there, but
yeah, they appear to be kind of watching it, but nevertheless, going to be a first down reception for McGill there. 42 seconds and counting on the clock. The Woodlands not stopping the clock here.
He was playing until whenever the whistle was blown. I didn't hear a whistle.
I didn't hear it either. The officials were watching it for a little bit. Quick throw out. McGill
Get
again.
He's
going to make a move inside the 5, down to the 4. Close to the first down marker.
What's going on?
29 seconds on the clock.
Calling timeout.
Timeout on the field. Timeout Woodlands. So the Highlanders have 1 timeout remaining. Spring Lions have 2 timeouts remaining. We have 29 seconds until half. Again, Spring clinging to a 17-14 lead over the Highlanders here. Again, Spring has scored 14 unanswered points after the Highlanders took a 14-3 lead. But the Woodlands racing back down the field here, trying to reclaim that lead before halftime and take a much-needed shot of momentum into the locker room here. Again, the Woodlands will receive the opening kick in the third quarter after Spring won the opening toss and elected to receive that kick.
Just be nice to put some points on the board right here, come back, keep the momentum in your favor, drive back down the field, add more points to that.
That man, and Reed shows again why they're showing that quickness we've witnessed from him all year. Jabari Reed.
Right there, just sliced through like butter. It was number 14, Braylon Wills, that was just leaning in on that tackle. Reed just had that little move with his left shoulder, just evaded that tackle, then just started back and found pay dirt.
Yep, and Sims there, kicking the PAT, good and true, as he's done all year, been very reliable kicker. And with that, the score is the Woodlands 21, Spring 17, now on the scoreboard with 25 seconds remaining in the half. What a first half of action we've been treated here to tonight at Wood Forest Stadium. And again, the temperature out there, you've got a little bit of a fall chill in the air. Just ideal conditions, it looks like, for a high school football game. It's been a little bit of wind at times moving from north to south. And it appears to be kind of going up and down a little bit right now as I watch the flags, but, hasn't affected the action too much in terms of the wind's impact on the game. Just seeing 2 excellent football teams. Again, Spring coming into this 9-1, the Woodlands 8-2. And both of these teams have been good for a reason. There's a lot of talent that we're seeing out here on the field tonight. And again, this is being played like a 3rd or 4th round game.
I'm looking down at the crowd right now, and they're getting into it. They're enjoying their time. this weather, perfect football weather. I'm thinking once halftime happens, I might make a trip down to the concession stand to get some hot chocolate. Hopefully they have some for me tonight.
Absolutely. Need all the energy we can muster because this is just shaping up to be a heck of a football game. Just privileged to be here tonight, enjoying this one with you, Jackson.
Well, thank you, Jeremy.
Had to wait all year to do this, but hey, why not do it for an epic game like this?
Exactly. You're doing a dynamite job.
Appreciate that. Sims boots
I'm just
the
in a trance right now.
pooch here, and that's going to hit the turf. Let's see if the Highlanders can make a big play. It's loose. Again, the Highlanders get on that. It's still loose, but it may have gone out of bounds. Spring saved by the sideline there. A great pooch kick. It hits the turf and bounces around like a pinball there. That oblong-shaped ball doing all kinds of weird stuff as it's wont to do.
I wonder if they're going to do a replay on the...
21 seconds until half. Yeah, we're looking for the replay on the board just to see how close that was to being recovered.
I believe it was...
Ball's going to be spotted on
Miller.
the 25-yard line, so Spring's got 75 yards to go. Again, the matchup they've been looking to exploit lately is with number 3, Caden Bradley, their senior receiver, has made a couple of really big plays for the Lion offense here tonight. Let's see if they go back to that here on this first play. It's Davenport back to throw. He's going to tuck and run. He's got a lot of space.
Looking for the sideline.
Yep, he's going to hit the sideline, showing good speed himself. He's going to be all the way to the Woodlands 46-yard line on that scramble. Again, the Woodlands obviously focused on coverage there, but Davenport takes advantage of the big hole.
Huge opening.
11 seconds to go until half after he stepped out of bounds there. Again, the ball on the 46-yard line of the Woodlands. And this football game is starting to not afford us many opportunities to breathe up here in the booth. Plays coming thick and fast from both teams.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Here is Davenport. Of course, I don't even know if I need to mention it anymore, but empty backfield.
Yeah, they've been sticking with this. But it looks like they're getting to him. Pocket collapses.
Martrell Harris applying heavy pressure, throwing up the far sideline. There is contact. What a catch. The Spring Lions coming up with a remarkable catch there, and that's all the way down at the Woodlands 3-yard line. Wow.
1 second left.
1 second to go in the half. He caught the ball in bounds. He laid out fully for that catch. And again, Martrell Harris applied heavy pressure on Davenport there. Davenport gets the throwaway. 1 second is remaining on the clock. Yeah, and Jackson, I didn't have a good enough view of the clock there to see if, how many seconds were left when he actually made the reception, and if we needed to dispute anything about this 1 second being on the clock here.
Whenever he was down, I looked at the scoreboard, and it was at 1, and that's whenever they called the play down. And obviously, until they get to the line of scrimmage, that's whenever they're going to signal the timekeeper to go ahead and resume play. But obviously, Coach on the Spring side went ahead and called that timeout to secure them this 1st and goal at the 2.
Yeah, and I'm going to call it Davenport QB draw here. They may show, they'll obviously have some routes on here, probably an RPO style play where if they see what they want right away, he's going to throw it, but if he doesn't, he's going to tuck and run here. So they're probably going to give him a little bit of just a single route combination to watch, and if it's open, he's going to attack it. Or they're going to go Wildcat. Yep, Wildcat formation. Play's going to be blown dead. Timeout Woodlands. Woodlands using their last timeout of the half there. Now, if they have a look at that Wildcat formation, we'll see if they play any kind of chess here and switch things up, or if Spring stays with the same approach they showed there.
Last time they ran strong side. I wonder if they're going to try to go weak side this next time.
Yeah, maybe they try and fool, because they are overloading the one side with the 2 blockers to show a heavy shift and intent to go that way like they did on the last touchdown run they had.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of weak side runs that much anymore, especially in that style formation. You're going to favor the strong side. You're going to try to move it where your lead blockers are.
Yep, usually a numbers game that teams want to play in that regard and go where they've got the extra blocker if they can. But a team like Spring, with the athletes they have, they can easily make one man miss. So I agree with you that a weak side run for this kind of team could be really effective just because they have the quickness to do that and to make that that one defender miss.
All right, guys, let's make a stop right here. Let's go in the half with the lead.
Spring will stay in the Wildcat look. Going to show an intent to move around the right side of the formation. Now they're going to shift back over to the left. They're going to go that way. They're going to go behind the
They got him. They got him. He's down.
Trying to cut back. Oh, he doesn't go down. Are they going to mark him down? They're going to mark him down, and that's going to be in the half.
Yeah, he
wow,
did.
What a stand by the Highlanders. That looked very close.
No, he got down on the knee. I saw
Yeah.
it. I saw it. He slipped.
Yep. So the Woodlands successful in stopping that last attempt to get in the end zone by Spring, but Spring coach is out on the field. Not sure what they're trying to dispute there, but that will be the end of the half. The Woodlands is going to go in with a 21-17 lead over the Spring Lions, and the Highlanders will be receiving the ball to start the third quarter. As we mentioned, again, I'm Jeremy McGrail, joined here tonight by Jackson Cochran.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
On this audio stream here tonight. Regretfully, we can't bring you the video we normally do because of the UIL rules when it comes to the state playoffs, but hopefully we're translating the action well on the field for you here tonight, at least in terms of the audio, and what an excellent football game we have. Again, just being played at a very high level by both of these teams. The Woodlands doing a great job of recapturing the momentum there with that last touchdown to reclaim the lead after Spring had scored 14 unanswered points. Again, the Woodlands jumping out to a 14-3 lead. Spring coming back with 2 touchdowns to take a 17-14 lead before the Woodlands tacked on that last touchdown to retake the lead at 21-17. I'm out of breath, Jackson.
Yeah, I'm a little lost for words right now, but I'm just excited the fact that they were able to make that stop right there with 1 second on the clock, and just you saw what Spring's coaches were looking like on their sideline. They thought that they had that touchdown. They're frustrated. They're going to go into that locker room. I'm sure they're going to be fired up. They're going to want to come back out like guns a-blazing, ready to just like fight back because they think that they probably were cheated right there on that last play.
Yep, think that all they want, but of course calling the field stands say he went down. And again, like you said, I trust your vision. You're about 3 feet closer to it than I was up here on my side where I'm sitting here with you.
There's no replay in high school football.
No, absolutely, and obviously not the NFL in terms of, if you go down in the open field, you can keep running if you're not touched down. So obviously in high school that doesn't apply. So nothing they can dispute in terms of that being anything that would aid to their argument. But regardless, the Woodlands defense coming up huge there to keep that out. And yeah, just shaping up to be one heck of a second half that we've got on tap here for you tonight. And just appreciate all of you listening to us for joining us here tonight for this Texas high school football state playoff action. We'll take a brief break here, but we'll come back to you during halftime. We'll talk a little bit more about kind of first half observations, and we'll check on some of the playoff scores in the area too to see what else is kind of going on in the bracket. If anything else is happening right now in the Region 2 Division 1 bracket, we'll check on that here at halftime and bring that to you as we get closer to resuming the second half of play. But for now, we'll take a little bit of a break here, and we'll come back to you momentarily to set up the second half. Yep, and continue our way through the Texas high school football playoffs. Again, nothing better in the great state of Texas than playoff football, one and done. It's all on the line here tonight at Woodforest Bank Stadium.
Just keep us on in the background and enjoy the Spring Band and then the Woodlands Band. So we'll be back with you shortly.
Social officers are Social Chairman Asa Donald, Social Chairman Anaya Sampson, Historian Carol Martinez, Vice President Trinity Eckler, and the President Gloria
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Woodlands High School halftime show. Tonight's halftime show will feature the McCullough Junior High Band, the Woodlands High School High Steppers and Cheerleaders. Tonight, the High Steppers and Cheerleaders will be performing a routine to Shout It Out, and will end their show with the Woodlands High School Fight Song. Let's hear it one more time for the McCullough Junior High Band. Great job tonight. Great job.
And we'd like to welcome you back here to Woodforest Bank Stadium here at halftime of the game between the Woodlands and Spring. My partner Jackson Cochran and I here have caught our breaths here over halftime, at least a little bit, to try and get ready for what we're going to see in the second half and what's been an excellent football game with the Woodlands leading 21-17, of course, on the scoreboard. We're about 7 minutes away from resuming action here tonight, and the Woodlands will receive that opening kick of the third quarter. Jackson was good enough to look up some scores here for us during halftime, so I wanted to run down a few of those that are happening around us here in the bracket. Starting at the top of the Region 2 Division I bracket, Garland-Saxe is leading Mesquite High 21-13. Duncanville is leading Belton 21-7. Of course, our game here, the Woodlands and Spring, 21-17, the Woodlands at halftime. And the winner of this game will play the winner of Klein-Cain versus Cypress Woods next week. And Klein-Cain currently leads Cypress Woods by a score of 24-13.
One of those newer schools, too, that has just, in the Klein district, continues to grow, just split it again, and probably took some from Klein proper, Klein Oak, and I believe Klein Forest is also in that area. But Klein continues to grow, and just surprised because I remember back in the day, Klein used to actually be in the district with the Woodland. Klein Forest, Klein Oak, and Klein all used to be in the district with the Woodlands and Tomball and Conroe.
Well, it makes sense, of course, geographically, because Klein Oak, of course, backs up right against the Woodlands in the Creekside kind of area, the south side of the Woodlands, so it makes sense that those are, two kind of traditional local type of rivals, given that, the areas do kind of come up against one another there with the Klein Oak zone at least. And again, just one of those traditional kind of prolific areas in the Houston area that's produced good football for a long time. Klein High, of course, known for that, and Klein Forest even fielding a lot of really competitive teams in the past as well. Klein Oak, they've been well coached for a long time, at least in my opinion. Klein Collins, when they came on board too, I mean, that's not that old of a school, even though they've been around for a little bit longer, of course, than a Klein Kane has. But even like in the case of a Klein Collins, again, another story like Kane, where, Klein Collins was pretty much, I don't know about instantly good, but very quickly good after they opened, just given their location, kind of near the Spring area, obviously being the Klein school closest to I-45. But yeah, just another case of one of our more prolific suburbs here in the Houston area that just kind of keeps growing, attracting families, just given that it's been a rock-solid kind of area in the city for a long time. Families know that it's a good place to go raise kids and do all that. So not surprising to see Klein Kane kind of back in the thick of it this year. And one thing I noticed about them last year that they seem to be continuing this year, and as you look at the Region 2 brackets in Division 1, in Division 2 as a whole, there is a ton of offense. And I mean a ton. I mean, Klein Kane was scoring a lot of points last year. They've continued that this year. And on the Division 2 side, you've got teams like Rockwall, Keith, Bridgeland, all known for scoring a ton of points. Garland High this year.
And Bridgeland is currently down right now.
Yeah, surprisingly.
I know.
Yeah, in their game. They're playing Klein Collins, correct?
Yep.
Yep, so Klein Collins, I've kind of admired their coaching for a while now. Just been a team that's always kind of caught my eye with regard to kind of how they've been coached, and they've made a few really nice runs in the playoffs kind of over the years as well. But again, we'll be keeping a close eye on that Klein Kane Cypress Woods game, and we'll try and give you at least a close to final score if we can here tonight before we kind of break for the evening. And again, got players out on the field for both teams now, going through a little bit of a warm-up routine as we're a little over 3 minutes away from the start of the second half. In Jackson, we had a few turnovers to look at in the first half of action. It was 2 by the Woodlands, I believe. There was an interception and a lost fumble by the Woodlands, and then, of course, the Woodlands coming up with the huge interception on the opening drive of the game by Spring.
That was, I believe it was King Dubin who was in on that first interception.
Yes.
And just got it right at the 1. Woodlands was actually able to go back down the field 99 yards, get the first points on the board.
Monumental drive.
Yes, capitalizing on that turnover. And then we're able to draw a 3 and out in that second drive. Unfortunately, that's whenever the fumble happened by Reed. And then Spring got back in the red zone, able to get the field goal. So the defense was doing a dynamite job, just only holding them to those 3. But then just another interception, the turnover, and then Spring was able to capitalize on that one. And just right before the end of the half, Woodlands came down, just that little pass from Toyer to Reed, and then we're able to get that stop right with 1 second left in regulation. So very exciting, a lot of offense, couple of turnovers, but the penalties were hurting Spring because it was keeping on drawing them back. But other than that, I'm just curious what was said at halftime, especially on the Spring side, because I know those coaches were fired up before they went into the field house.
Yep, we're going to see some adjustments, of course, from both sides, as you would expect in a game that's kind of sitting on the knife's edge as this one is, your 4-point game going into halftime. And you just mentioned the penalties a second ago, and in addition to the turnovers, and again, I mentioned these for a reason. It's like these are the details, the kind of things that decide playoff games, who moves on and who goes home. And I've been in the field house when the walls are stripped bare, after a loss, and the finality that this time of year brings it's really jarring. And I don't know that I can do it justice for anyone who hasn't experienced it either as a player or as a parent. Just that feeling of going back into the field house when all you see lined up along the hallways are the white equipment bins, and you've got guys just kind of turning their stuff in, and there's not the noise and kind of the banter that you would normally hear in the locker room. There's none of that going on, and the coaches are starting to peel down papers off the wall that were kind of put up during the season for the various opponents, and it's just like it really is a jarring scene. But I've also been there when the team comes home on the back of a fire engine in celebration of a state championship, and I've been able to experience that side of it too. And just the contrast between the two feelings, just the two situations, is incredible. And again, only in our two-division setup that we have, only 2 teams out of the 128 that are starting these state playoffs get to go home happy at the end of the day with state championships. And so, there's a lot on the line, of course, for both of these teams or any team playing in the state playoffs. It's like, this is it. It's win or go home is the deal tonight. It's like you win or you pump up the basketballs and get ready to go do that. Neither one of these teams here tonight ready to go do that just yet. Should have an excellent second half as spring runs out on their sideline. The Woodlands has the smoke going under their inflatable. They're ready to run out too here so we can get our second half started. But again, Jackson, everything here to play for tonight. And again, just there's something about single elimination playoffs that, and again, just that finality that I mentioned. It's like you do it or, it's over. And just like that, all the work that you've put in, all the long weeks of the season that led us to this point.
You also got to think about a lot of the seniors that are playing right
Absolutely.
now. Because some of them probably don't have commitments, aren't going to be able to play in the next level. And this would be their final game of their high school career. And the fact that they want to continue this season, they want to still play for next week. And we want to we want to wish them the best. And also we feel for them because we know what that was like, especially being out there on the field.
Absolutely. Yeah, these playoff games, this is where the seniors take the team or try to take the team by the scruff of the neck. And I tell you, for all the deep runs that I've been lucky enough to witness over the years, the single common denominator that I've seen in every one of the really good teams that I've watched is strong senior leadership. Because when you get in a tight game like the one that we're witnessing here tonight, it's those seniors that kind of pull everybody out of their funk. Is you kind of go through the ups and downs of the game out on the field. It's like the coaches can only do so much from the sidelines, and it's the senior leaders like your Evan Dubins, your Bradley Warrens, your Ben Fergusons, John Podolskis. Those are the guys that are going to rally the troops. They're going to say, all right, let's go. This is time. This is our season right here. So they're playing. We got 12 minutes up on the clock here to start the third quarter. You've got at least 24 minutes to fight for your season here as spring puts our football down. We get ready to kick off the second half of the game here tonight. Spring kicking from right to left as we look at it here in the booth.
Wind's starting to pick up again tonight.
Can be pooched. Can be fair caught by the Woodlands. Ball be spotted around the 29-yard line.
That was Damon Arnold right there on the return.
No, go ahead and give Woodlands credit for the 30-yard line there. Sorry, Jackson.
Oh, I was just going to remind everyone that is tuning in right now and thank everyone who is being a part of the stream. But also, don't forget that if we do continue next week, we don't know for sure what's going to happen, but I'm going to wait till this play ends and do our little promotion.
3 receivers. Matoyer's going to zone read it and keep it. Smartly keeps it, and then he gets down, takes kind of a shot at the end of that, but he's going to gain about 7 yards on that, so it was a good decision by Matoyer to keep on that zone read with Jabari Reed there.
Nice set of positive yards right there. Also, don't forget, everyone who is tuning in right now, we have that subscribe button here on our Woodlands Woodforce Bank stream. Just click that little red rectangle and also that bell to the right of it. It'll notify you whenever we do go live if we are able to bring a game to you next week.
3 receivers. Matoyer going to show sweep, and he'll hand it off. Coming around the bottom of the formation, that's Tobin Miller.
Down.
First down, Highlanders. It goes without saying, given that we're in a playoff game here tonight, but just a huge opportunity for the Woodlands offense to come out and set an early marker here in the second half. Do everything they can to come away with touchdown points here. 4 receivers.
They are losing the turnover battle right now, but maybe they can turn it around right here.
-1.
Yep.
2-by-2 formation, 1st and 10. Matoyer's going to check with the sideline here. 11:24 on the clock in the third quarter. Again, the Woodlands leading 21-17. Flare pass out to Mitchell, makes a nice, to Williams actually, makes a nice catch to pull that in. Gain of about 3 yards.
Just right on his fingertips, brought it back to him. That was well caught right there. I was surprised that it did not go incomplete.
Yeah, Jackson, I have to see the replay, but it looked like almost kind of a one-handed catch there to kind
Oh,
of
it
bring
was.
that in.
It was just like right on his fingertips, just like touched, and then just like pulled it back in.
Good job by Williams securing that. Those kind of plays are always a little scary for people to watch because you always get the feeling it's going to be a backwards pass, but that was definitely a forward pass on there, so no risk of a fumble on the dropped play there. 3
Bring your safety
receivers. Hand off the middle to Reed. He's going to pull it, though.
Play
Wow.
action.
Yeah, good fake. And it's going
Fooled
to be
us.
complete to Camden Cash, I believe. Yep, that's number 17, Cash. Be just shy of a first down, so it's going to bring us 3rd and 1. Highlander offense going to line up quickly here. Matoyer and Reed in the backfield, 4 receivers. Going to check with the sideline now. See if this is a zone read play here. If Matoyer just
That
takes it
defense
straight
is playing
ahead.
pretty tight right now.
Yeah, their defense is in no way defending the pass right now. No safeties, 0 coverage. Split backfield, show and run. Here comes Reed, up the middle, first down. Woo! Good job by the O-line there. Create a 4-yard gain there when Spring was selling out against the run.
Well, I see that it was Henderson there again on the tackle.
Again, of course, those of us following the Woodlands all year, we know what kind of size they've got up front and that ability they have whenever they want to kind of get behind that size and take advantage of the surge they're able to generate. It's a luxury to have when you run more of a spread style offense like the Woodlands does. 2-by-2 set here, motion out of the backfield, Williams. Jailbreak screen, top side, complete, but Spring does a good job closing down on that. Again, Spring playing very physical on the edge here tonight. Still gain of about a few yards.
They're not trying to stretch the field as much right now. They're just keeping it comfortable. A couple 3-yard, 4-yard plays.
Yep, side-to-side stretch right now. Horizontal and then to set up the vertical later on. 4 receivers in the game. 2nd and 8, 9:07 and counting in the 3rd quarter here. Woodlands in Spring territory. Matoyer is going to try and keep it and get out of trouble here.
Fumble.
Ball comes out. That's going to be recovered by Spring. Big turn of events there again. Matoyer keeping that, trying to get what he can up the middle, but ball gets punched out because Spring is playing very physical, and I'm not sure the Woodlands has seen a team that's flown around like this on defense all year, or at least not since they visited Katy earlier in non-district. That was a 21-14 game back then.
Just need to shake this one off. Don't let it really affect you going into the next drive. Let the defense come out, make a stop. Still a comfortable ball game right now. You still have the lead. Just hold them right here.
Yep, got to be able to rely on your defense to get a stop because this is the kind of game that's going to have a lot of these momentum swings. So Spring's going to start this possession on their own 37-yard line. Again, empty backfield.
Shocker.
Davenport, absolutely. Quick throw up to the top side, complete. Make some moves there at the top. Positive play. Be about a 6-yard gain for Spring there. On the first down play. Again, 8:47 and counting here in the 3rd quarter on the clock. Score is still 21-17, Woodlands advantage. 3 turnovers here tonight for the Woodlands. 1 for Spring.
I'm keeping an eye on Bradley right now. I'm trying to see how they're
Davenport back to
covering
pass
him.
by his lonesome. He's going to tuck this one and run around the top side. He's got first down yardage and more. He's going to cross midfield into Woodlands territory on that run. For the first down, no flags.
Defense was playing pretty good coverage right there. Just didn't find an open man. Just went ahead and just kept it and got the extra yards right there.
Just very difficult to account for everything in an offense like this. And again, it becomes more of a game of, you hear the cliche, but yeah, the bend but don't break. It's a real thing. When you're up against an offense with this kind of talent, Spring motions into the backfield. Davenport's going to keep up the middle. Surge forward for about 5 yards. But again, impossible to defend everything, or at least close to it. So what you have to do is, damage mitigation. Keep the yard gains to 4 and 5 yards. I mean, even though it's a 4 or 5 yard gain for Spring there, I mean, the Woodlands will take that because it's not a touchdown.
Yes.
Or an explosive play, which explosive play is a 20-plus yard play. Some movement there. Flag does come in. Spring takes what they think might be a free play. They complete the pass.
To Braylon Martin.
That would be first down on the yardage. And everybody's moving down the field, so I think that penalty was against the Woodlands, which will be declined. And as Jackson mentioned, encroachment against the Woodlands, penalty declined. So the football is spotted on the 29-yard line. Spring now deep into Woodlands territory, moving close to the red zone here. Again, staying empty backfield for Davenport. Trying to spread the field and exploit the matchups that they like. First and 10 play
right
here.
there, keeping an eye. They're going to start spying.
Good initial coverage there for the Woodlands. They just get Davenport tripped up there. Had a chance at him in the backfield. I think Podolsky may have been one of the ones that eventually got Davenport just tripped up enough to fall there after about a 5-yard gain.
What I'm seeing right now is that they're keeping Tommy Kratt. He's going to be spying Davenport right now in the coverage. Just they're keeping that 3 defensive line, keeping a little bit more of that defending, trying to keep defending this pass right here.
2nd and 5 play here for Spring. Empty backfield, motion across the formation. Davenport looking to pass up the sideline. Wide open. Touchdown Lions. In the play design there. And again, that's number 3, Caden Bradley.
2nd touchdown of the game.
The main damage dealer for the Lions here tonight. With that score, it's going to be 23-21. Spring now on the scoreboard. There's 6:51 on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. That was very clever play design by the Lions there. I have to kind of give credit where it's due on that one. Just a very good play design.
There's a little communication after the play. Just broken coverage right there by the Woodlands.
And Ruiz on to attack the PAT for Spring, gets it through. Then he was kicking into the north end zone there. And with 6:51 left here in the 3rd quarter, it is Spring 24, the Woodlands 21 now on our scoreboard here tonight. This by-district state playoff game, 6A Division I. The officials are having a little bit of a discussion down there by the end zones. They break their huddle as the kickoff teams get ready to come back on the field. And again, that drive, even though Spring had to kind of work, was started by a turnover on that fumble where Matoyer was kind of make things happen going up the middle, and Spring doing a good job of punching the football out and then recovering it. And again, these are the key things that you track in big games like this, where you have a turnover and then points scored immediately after it. Always huge, huge game shifters.
Well, each turnover by the Woodlands so far has actually benefited Spring because they've gotten points on every turnover so far.
And I've often seen this time of year, it's the little things, as we keep talking about. It's the details, little things like that, properly securing the ball. But also sometimes the defense just makes a great play, and you've got to kind of tip your hat. So that kickoff is Pooch. Woodlands runs up to catch that. Will return it out past the 35.
I think that was 15 or 16 yards on that return.
Yeah, it's a good job. Kind of a tricky kick to field because it was kind of a Pooch-style kick, but still deep enough to where the deep return men were able to run up on that and make a good kind of catch on the run. It's a lot harder than it looks to do that. I can speak to that as a former center fielder. There's 4 receivers on the field here for the Highlanders, 2x2 set. It's Matoyer back to pass. Surveying the middle of the field. Now he's going to move out to his right. Going to look for intended man. Going to fall incomplete there. So he was looking for Tobin Miller. He eventually progressed to. Had good time. Just, yeah, no one came quite enough open to be able to make that connection on the pitch and catch there. 2nd and 10, 6:39 on the clock here, 3rd quarter.
I need to see a little bit more Ferguson coming in. I'm just having a hunch right now, but I think that they're going to dial something up and he's going to come up big again.
Yeah, big-time players step up in big-time games, as the saying goes. And, yep, Ferguson was that guy in the first half. No reason to think he won't do it again, and he is completely singled up here on the bottom side. Going to be a zone read, though, from Matoyer. He's going to keep it, take a little bit of a shot there after only a gain of a yard. Again, the Woodlands has to monitor, of course, these matchups that they're getting on the perimeter, playing very physical on the outside receivers. Jackson brought this up early in the game. Ferguson's going to move into the slot, it looks like, on this play. There's going to be 4 receivers in the game. Trips to the near side, closest to us here in the booth on the Woodland side of the field.
Yeah,
3rd and 9.
Dorian Friend has been covering Ferguson for a while tonight, and the fact that he's been in there.
Some Matoyer over the middle.
Ooh.
Some contact. Ball's going to fall incomplete. Looking for flags, but nothing's coming in so far. Spring defense thinks they've done the job, and it appears they have there with that 3rd down stop.
You can hear the crowd right now. I can hear them from underneath me.
Yeah, definitely some lobbying for the flag. The Woodlands coach is protesting a little bit, but staying on their sideline. Nobody out on the field. 4th and 9. Looks like the quick kick formation for the Woodlands here. Metoyer is going to boot it away. No deep men back for Spring. So hopefully Metoyer can boot it and get a positive bounce here. He does get a good kick away. Now just need a positive bounce, but
goes out of bounds.
Goes out of bounds, unfortunately. Going to be marked down at the 34-yard line is where it's going to be spotted. Again, these are the toughness, mental toughness moments where your senior leadership, particularly here on defense, has got to get everybody by the scruff of the neck and say no more. They don't get any more points here tonight. Keep this close enough in order to give the Woodlands offense another opportunity to put a drive together. If they can get the Lions off the field here either by turnover on downs, punt, or turnover.
Secondary needs to try to make a big play right here.
There are opportunities for plays to be made with Spring basically dropping back to pass every player or Davenport on QB keepers. Davenport back to pass here again. Going to be harried in the backfield. He's going to escape, though, showing good agility. Martrell Harris is the man who eventually throws him down, and he threw him down. But unfortunately for the Highlanders, that was a 9-yard gain by Davenport. He evaded the initial pressure that was applied by the D-line.
I'm just noticing Podolsky. He's fighting over there. He's trying to get through that line. He's doing his little spin move. He's doing a little swim move. He's just trying to just get past the lineman. And obviously, Davenport's just moving up at the pocket.
Yeah, maximum effort every play now. Obviously, season on the line. There's no leaving anything in the tank here tonight. Davenport's going to keep this one. Going to try and bounce around the side. He has enough for the first down.
He was extending his arm right there. Better be careful. That ball's going to get punched out.
He tackled at the 47-yard line.
He should do that some more. Just try to extend it. Let us, pop it out. We need something in our favor right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Those defenders, obviously, they'll be keeping an eye on that. And I mean, Spring's done a good job of that on the other side. It's like they're looking to make plays on the ball, and the Highlanders need to do more of that themselves. Whenever he decides to keep it like that, come in punching when you come in for the tackle. Uppercut. Ball might fly out. 1st and 10 for the Lions here. Davenport, again, evading early pressure. Going to step up, throw up the sideline. Has single coverage, but can't make the catch. Looks like it could be offensive pass interference, I would think, because the receiver was on the back of the defender there trying to do a Randy Moss-style catch, but we'll see what the officials, the official who threw the flag was right there by where the play was being made. Again, I should think offensive pass interference here, but we'll see what may have happened before that perhaps I missed here. Again, that was a 1st and 10 play. There's 4 minutes and 27 seconds left in the third quarter as we await this call.
Well, Miller was there on the coverage. He was
pass interference. They're going to call it on the defense. That's a little bit surprising, but again, I maybe just caught the very end of that, but the receiver was actually on the back of the Highlander defender there, trying to make that catch because the defender was between the receiver and the ball, and he had his back to him. So it's not like the DB wasn't turned around for the football. He was turned around because the receiver was on his back, but nevertheless, the call is going to go against the Highlanders. And that's going to put the ball on the 38-yard line, so Spring into Highlander territory after that. 1st and 10, empty backfield for Davenport.
Where's
some
the flag?
movement
There
along
it
the
is.
line. That's a false start. Can't do that.
Trying to get a little jump, a little head start out the tee box.
Back Spring up 5 yards, make it 1st and 15. It's going to move the ball back to the 44-yard line. Make that 43-yard line, sorry.
You're forgiven.
In my defense, it is placed kind of in between the 43 and the 44.
We don't have a monitor in front of us, so we're doing the best we can up here.
All right. And again, as Spring, I don't even need to announce it anymore, but I will just because I know people are listening now and can't see it, but empty backfield. Davenport.
I'm shocked.
The easiest formations I've ever had to call. Davenport
Plenty of
has a nice
time.
pocket. Way too much time. Looking deep over the middle. Has a man open. complete.
Ball's
That's
out.
about ball.
Ball's
Does
out.
come out late. What are they going to call here? They're going to signal touchdown. They're going to say he broke the plane before the ball came out. And again, that's Caden Bradley, who's been an absolute nightmare for the Highlander defense here tonight. Going to be credited with another touchdown. The officials do have a little conference here at the goal line, but it appears the points are going to stand. But again, Davenport just way too much of a pocket there. Just perfect pass blocking that he received on that play. No one getting through. Just way too much time to wait for that post route to develop, and he hits Bradley. Again, ball comes out at the end of that, but the officials conferred immediately and said that he crossed before it came out.
I thought he was down at the 1.
Love to be able to see that on replay as Ruiz comes in here for Spring to tack on point after. Kick is up and good. So with that latest score from Spring, it is now Spring 31, the Woodlands 21, with 4 minutes and 18 seconds left in the third. Not the third quarter that the Woodlands wanted here, with Spring scoring 14 points so far in this quarter unanswered. Huge drive. This is the drive of the game coming up for the Woodlands offense to keep themselves in this game.
Both special teams are making their way back on the field. The return team for the Woodlands getting lined up right now.
And as they've done so far here tonight, they've got everybody up except for the 3 deep men back to return and guard against that. But now the second line's going to drop back a little bit further for the pooch depth. There is a pretty big gap between the second level guys and the deep guys. It's going to go back deep. It's going to be very returnable. See if they can take advantage. He's going to pop through there, get out close to the 34-yard line for the spot.
19-yard return.
But again, this is the drive of the game, in my opinion, for the Highlander offense. They have to have a response here with points. Again, trailing by 10 points now. Biggest deficit of the game for the Highlanders. But again, plenty of time left in the football game. No reason whatsoever to panic, but there is a reason to have a very high sense of urgency right now. Don't want this game to get any further away from you for many and obvious reasons if you're the Highlanders. So Matoyer, 3 receivers in the formation, 1st and 10. Going to hand off to Williams, but Spring in the backfield to shut that down. Be a 2-yard loss. Again, the Woodlands going to have to, as you mentioned on the last series, look at getting Ferguson involved here again. Got to look at starting to exploit the Spring defense with the pass again, because they've got their ears pinned back against this run now.
Well, Spring's playing that press coverage with the corners, and they're just playing tight, and they're even showing blitz right now. Well,
yeah.
They showed blitz on that last play.
Yeah, Spring daring the Woodlands receivers to beat them on the edge right now, not showing a lot of
Bringing
respect for them.
Got Ferguson right there.
Oh,
Ball's out.
Comes out, and it's going to be picked up, took the ball away from him. It's going to be returned for a touchdown Spring. It was a strip. It was a catch by Ferguson and a strip by Spring, and wow, how quickly the momentum has turned here in the third quarter. It's all to Spring right now after that. And that's going to go down as a 4th turnover on the night for the Woodlands.
Yeah, I don't know who was there on the strip, but Dorian Freen just recovered that fumble and just ran back in the opposite end and put more points on the board for Spring.
There's going to be a conference here by the officials. We don't have points on the scoreboard yet. There is a flag actually on the Spring sideline that came in late. Looks like it may go against. There are actually 2 flags down over there. Lengthy conference here. Again, no points have gone up on the board yet. We'll see what the call is.
They're still talking over there.
Yeah, long discussion by the officials here. Head official ready to give us a call here. It's going to be holding against the Woodlands. They're going to decline that. Not sure why the conference was that long for that kind of call, but regardless, the touchdown will stand. So Spring now has 37 points on the scoreboard There's 3:24 left in the third quarter. Spring leading 37-21 over the Woodlands. Pending the PAT here from Ruiz. Ruiz is going to boot this one up and through. Take our score to Spring 38, the Woodlands 21. Again, 21 unanswered points scored by Spring here in the third quarter. Just exploding out in front of this football game.
Right now, they just need to regroup, just get back to how they've been playing throughout the season, and just let the last 3 scores by Spring, just let it slide down your back. We're looking forward. Let's try to get some points on the board. Let's get back in this game.
Yep, down 17 points. All it takes is 1 score, and you're right back in the game. So again, not time to panic by any means. Never a good time to do that, but it is time to focus and eliminate the turnovers. We've seen 2 turnovers in this half that both, of course, have led to touchdowns for Spring. Got to cut those out first and foremost. Find a formula to move the ball down the field, because Spring has absolutely just pinned their ears back on defense. Dared the Woodlands to throw the ball by playing that really super aggressive coverage on the perimeter. Spring has the ball on the tee, ready to kick this off to the Highlanders here. Going to boot it deep over the head of Cooper Stark. Actually, he's going to go back and make the catch. Good job by him. He's going to bring it up around the left side, trying to find room. Not a ton to work with. He'll be marked down around the 28-yard line. So Matoyer and the Woodlands offense back out onto the field to try and right the ship here, and they need to do so in a hurry. It's kind of snowballing a little bit, but again, 1 good drive and right back in it.
That was about a 26-yard return right there. So nice field position for the Highlanders.
4 receivers. Matoyer back to pass here, looking deep down the middle of the field. Wide open Williams. He's
Boom!
got it. He's off to the races. You're going to make a man miss. He's still going.
Still fighting.
Still fighting for more yards. He's going to be all the way to the Spring 34-yard line on that catch. That's exactly what they need to start the drive. And again, Spring, they've been playing largely a single free safety lately, single high safety, and then just aggressive man coverage everywhere else. So if you can get off the line of scrimmage, there's an opportunity to make plays like that.
Just make a right cut and then just get open. You got the separation, got the reception, got back into Spring territory. That's what they need. This is the type of momentum that's going to help them in favor.
First and 10, sweep to Williams. He's
there
in open space. He's going to go touchdown. 5, touchdown.
Woo!
Highlanders right back on the board. 2 plays. Actually, are they going to come in and mark him down around the 5?
No, he got in there.
No, they're actually going to put the ball down here at the 4-yard line is where they're going to spot that. So no touchdown, but a huge play by the Woodlands regardless there. Jason Williams taking it around the right side, getting in all kinds of space, so quickly to the line here. Going to be
Sheldon.
The loaded backfield. Looks Sheldon in at quarterback. Going to hand off up the middle. That was Reed on the carry.
Timeout by Spring.
Oh, Spring called timeout before the play, so we're going to say no play. 2 minutes, 39 seconds left in the third quarter. Again, Spring leading 38-21, but the Woodlands trying for an instant response here.
Just want to compliment Williams right here on this drive. Just getting the reception, then even that one run that I thought it was a touchdown. Looked like a touchdown to me.
Again, one of the juniors here stepping up tonight for the Highlanders. He'll be back next year, of course. He's been an impressive utility player for the Woodlands offense kind of all year. They've come up with creative ways to use him, get the ball in his hands, both just handing the ball to him directly and in the passing game. And obviously he's heavily involved as one of the kick returners on this team. So Williams just kind of a good little Swiss Army knife in this offense all year. And I would say the Woodlands in general, they've got about 3 or 4 Swiss Army knives that they use kind of between the receiver and kind of backfield positions.
Who would you...
Very versatile group of skill players.
Who would you compare him to in, like, the NFL?
Oh, gosh, that's a really good question. Here, run the play here. It's going to be an option, but Spring is on the back of Sheldon there as he tried to get to the edge on that speed option look.
Justin Sheldon.
Yeah, a good comparison for Jason Williams. Of course, this has been kind of a long comparison that people have used for anyone that's both carry the ball and receive the ball, but they call it the Percy Harvin role.
Yeah.
You know, for people who remember him, it's been a little while since Percy Harvin was playing football, but, you know, back when he kind of made that slot receiver, that combo receiver running back position popular.
Yeah, back when he was at Florida, then.
He made it the cool thing to do, both in college and the pros. So roll out, Sheldon looking in the end zone, touchdown. That's Camden Cash on the reception. Huge play, Highlanders. Wow, they had to have that drive, and they got it.
Oh, Sheldon was stumbling in the backfield, but he just kept his composure. He fought that, got upright, planted his feet, executed that pass, found Cash in the end zone, put some points on the board. We're back in this. It's only a 2-possession game now.
Absolutely. All it took was one positive drive to kind of stop the bleeding there, so to speak, on the spring momentum, and it's 38-27 on the scoreboard now, pending the PAT high snap. Hold got down, though. Good job by the holder. Up and good by Sims. So reliable this year on points after. So the score is now Spring 38, the Woodlands 28. There's 2:14 on the clock in the third quarter. All kinds of time to go in this one.
Well, defense also need to get a little bit of a breather on the sideline. They've been on that field a lot tonight. So just let the defense catch their breath, get some water, just cool down, get back out there. Because that last pass that happened for that the third touchdown from Davenport to Bradley, just you didn't see anybody on the D line getting anywhere. There's plenty of time for Davenport in the pocket, so we need to make sure that the defense can get their energy back up and be able to their stamina is what I meant to say.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's hard facing an offense like this for 4 quarters that just keeps you spread out with that empty backfield look all game long. They single you up in the matchups and have you running all over the field. And, of course, as we mentioned, we highlighted John Podolsky a drive or so ago, highlighted the effort he was giving to try and affect the backfield in some way. Sims puts the ball down. He's going to send it deep here. Going to pooch it and see if this one will hit the turf too, but it's going to bounce up and be fielded by Spring. Return man took no chances, but finally a positive result for the Highlander coverage team there. That's going to be nice field position for the Woodlands defense to work with.
Yeah, I think this is one of the furthest drives that Spring is going to be back this
This
evening.
is their worst field position by far of the game. Yeah, the ball is going to be spotted on the 21-yard line. By far Spring's worst field position of the game, because I feel like all drives on average have been starting around the 35 or 40-yard line. Kind of in between that zone, definitely in between the 30 and the 40. Spring will come out with 2:10 on the clock here in the third quarter.
Hey, guess what? Empty set.
He's by himself again. Bishop Davenport back out to lead the Lion offense, going to motion across the formation.
Play action.
Showing a sweep. He keeps it. Good job on the fake. He's really good with that ball handling. Search for about an 8-yard gain there.
Don't you think Davenport's a little lonely back there?
A little bit. He's been on it. Yeah, Davenport Island all night. Yeah, who needs Revis Island when you've got Davenport Island now, I guess.
Unfortunate.
And he is going to be headed to Utah State for college.
Congratulations.
Read an article where he and his father are outdoorsmen, and that's one of the big selling points that Utah State had for him, is that his dad and he would be able to do their thing up there. Nice father-son connection they seem to have.
Well, that pass was intended to Sims. He was just slinging it right there by Davenport.
That was incomplete by Davenport, going to bring up a 3rd and 2. 1:32 on the clock in the third quarter. Again, Spring leading 38-28 on the scoreboard. They've outscored the Woodlands 21-7 here in the third quarter. Davenport, again, all alone in the backfield.
3rd and 2.
Got to think that he's going to look for something quicker. He's just tucking and running if it's not there.
Making some adjustments on the defensive line for the Woodlands as they
straight up quarterback draw. Woodlands gets bodies on him. Let's see where that spot's going to come in. It's going to be
short.
close.
It's short of the line. It's short of the first down marker.
The way they're walking in, it looks like it'll be half a yard short, but we've got to look at this.
There's something on the field right there shining.
The line to gain is the 31, and they've spotted it on the 30.5, so that will be short.
Yeah, and they're going to keep it. They're going for it.
Yeah, and like you said, I see the shiny object now as well. I'm not sure what that is, glitter or halftime.
It's a big piece of glitter.
There it is, diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Yeah, 4th down, and it's 6 inches to go. Spring leaving their offense out onto the field, empty backfield.
They're going to probably do another draw right here. Let's make that stop, guys.
Amazing moment in the football game. Going to be timeout on the field.
So Spring's calling a timeout.
Shocked that this deep in their own territory that they would actually go for it, but maybe that just speaks to kind of not feeling completely confident in their punting game if they're willing to go for it up 10 points this deep in their own territory.
No, I feel that Spring's a little full of themselves. They have that confidence. They're
Wow.
playing with that swagger right now. They think that you can't stop us, and this is where the Woodlands is going to come up and say, oh, you think that we can't stop you? Well, guess what? We're going to get the ball back. We're going to drive it in. We're going to make this a game.
Yep, you would think if they're going to continue to show that empty backfield look and kind of show they look like they maybe had another just straight up the middle dive by Davenport on there, maybe blitz everyone up the middle. And then if they want to take the chance to throw something out to the perimeter, I guess you let them take that chance, but don't get beat up the middle here.
No.
You got to get enough bodies in there to get to them. Now they're going to come out and show the Wildcat look for Spring. They're going to go for it. Stumbles a little bit in the backfield. Didn't have much to gain, though. He looks like he just has the first down. Just had enough surge. He stumbled a little bit when he first caught the ball in the backfield, but the Lions taking a huge chance there, but it pays off for him. They're going to move the chains.
A yard. He got it.
Yeah, where the ball was spotted, the line to gain was the 31, and they had the spot on the 30.5. It's now be 1st and 10 Lions. Wow, that would have been massive to get that stop, but another chance here for the Highlander defense to get that one way or the other. Davenport back to pass, heavy pressure again, he escapes it. Going to fall forward for about a 4-yard gain, but again, you had Bradley Warren and one other man back there in the backfield, Podowski. Both of them trying to meet at the quarterback, as we say.
We're going to have an official timeout right here.
So timeout on the field, so Woodlands player can receive some attention.
It's going to be 12 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
Yep, absolutely. And again, this game's still finely poised. 10-point advantage. Nothing with the way these two offenses can move the ball. Highlanders, of course, have Spring in a 2nd and 5 if they can find a way to get behind the line of scrimmage here and create a loss of yardage to make the third down a little bit more tricky for Spring to navigate. Be looking to do just that, and a couple players I'm looking for here as we near the fourth quarter in this game, particularly on the defensive side for the Highlanders. There's to step up and affect the game as big players tend to do in games like this, or Martrell Harris, Bradley Warren, of course. Those are the first two players that come to mind. Of course, you got Evan Dubin here. Always seems to have a knack for coming up with big plays. He did earlier in this game with the interception on the first drive of the game. Of course, any one of these DBs, if Spring elects to pass here, got a chance to make plays on the ball. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter, so we're going to switch into the fields here. As we head into the fourth quarter of action here tonight from Woodforest Bank Stadium, the score is Spring 38, the Woodlands 28. Again, we thank everyone joining us on our audio stream here tonight. Again, to click that subscribe button that Jackson mentioned earlier, click the little bell next to it to receive notifications as you kind of keep up with what the district's going to be able to do as the playoffs move along again. We have to seed quite a bit to the UIL this time of year and kind of wait to see what we're going to be able to do coverage-wise. So for all the CISD teams that move on in the playoffs, kind of watch our space at Conroe ISD Athletics on YouTube for news and updates on what we'll be able to cover for you here moving forward. Again, College Park advancing last night in a 42-0 win over Aldi Nimitz. They're going to be on to the second round.
And don't forget to also follow CISD Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We pretty much post and keep you updated throughout the season. So most of the time I see a lot more on Instagram, and we'll always share the link on our Instagram and on the Twitter and Facebook pages.
We are ready to resume action here, fourth quarter. Again, Davenport, 2nd and 5, empty backfield, motion across.
Play
a fake. Again, some pressure. He's going to navigate around it. There's flags coming in. That's got to be a hold on Spring.
2 flags.
And that's a really big call for the Woodlands to get here. They needed that. Has to be a hold. It is. Nope, not quite a signal yet from the lead official. He signaled to hold but didn't point.
I saw the main guy. He did say he made motion for a hold.
Yep, absolutely expecting Spring to be backed up 10 yards here, and the referee is shaping up for that. It is hold against Spring. That was the kind of minus yards play that the Highlander defense really needed to get there. But again, it only counts if they come out here on the 2nd and 15 and have a good play. Again, the Woodlands is going to have 4 men up at the line of scrimmage here defensively on this play. Showing an umbrella look in the secondary, 4 guys back. Quarters coverage, perhaps. Davenport under heavy pressure.
Get him.
They're going to get him. That's Bradley Warren's going to be the man that ultimately takes him down to the ground. Huge play there. No gain. Going to be sacked right at the line of scrimmage. Davenport was still kind of caught between both of those minds there, Jackson, where he's thinking about tucking and running or trying to find an open receiver. Pressure finally gets home. You've been talking about it.
They're trying to contain him, and just Davenport's been moving up in the pocket. They're trying to keep him from going from the outside, but as they're trying to just slow him down on the outside, it's leaving that opening. But I saw that was Martrell Harris, who did a little spin move and got back to the middle of the field.
3rd and 15 here. Davenport back to pass. Got a nice pocket. He's going to throw for a corner. Does he make the connection? He does. That's going to be a first down. Very accurate throw by Davenport. That was actually a really big-time throw that he just made. It was a lot of yardage to cover there, and he did it basically throwing a frozen rope very accurately. 10:45 on the clock in the 4th quarter after that completion and first down.
Just that relationship that he's had with his receivers. He's been playing with them. You know, he's senior, and majority of his receivers are seniors. So just all these years playing together.
Absolutely. Again, clean pocket there. Just the right amount of time he needed to find that open man, let that route develop. Going to zone read there, going to hand off to the running back. He's going to scoot around the left side, still fighting forward for yardage. Good physical run there. That's going to move the ball into the Woodlands half of the field.
Hold up, did they just move Fussell into the backfield?
I believe they did. I believe that was number 17 on that carry. Yes, it is. That was Fussell.
I think we're going to have another official timeout coming up right here.
Timeout on the field. The ball is spotted on the 46-yard line of the Woodlands. Again, Spring now in plus territory.
And they're probably just going to start running the ball a little bit more, trying to chew up some clock.
Yeah, you've got to think they want to use a little bit, but of course also in the back of their minds they really want to score again just to kind of try and reinforce their point here tonight.
I was doing another quick look around the district because I know Willis is playing, I believe, Decaney tonight, and they are trailing them right now 9-14 in the 4th quarter. So Willis is trying to keep their playoff hopes alive as well as the Highlanders here are tonight. Looks like we're about to start to resume play.
Yep, and here we are, 2nd and 2 for Spring. Got a 4 receiver set. There actually is a man in the backfield with Davenport. We're going to ride the read and keep it up the middle.
Ball carrier number 7, Myron Carter. On the stop, 99.
And then it's on the carry, Myron Carter. Haven't seen a ton of him here tonight just because they've elected to just keep it spread, empty backfield all game. Now, as you mentioned, Jackson, they're going to go to work a little bit, try and work the clock, and since they've got the ball in positive territory and now a first down, there's no reason for them to take any unnecessary chances.
No. I think Davenport was telling Coach, I've been thinking some Al Green. I'm too tired of being alone back here.
Davenport back to pass. Looking deep. Down in the corner. He's got an open man. That's caught. Runs underneath it. He's going to go to ground, though, and not be able to score, but he's going to get all the way down to the Woodlands 5-yard line, and that's number 1. Isaiah Johnson, yep, senior. Again, just accurate throw and catch, just singled up, right matchup, wide open. And the quarterback who can deliver it accurately.
These receivers by Spring have some speed on them.
Yeah, they've been very good at generating separation here as the game has gone on. They've just gotten stronger and stronger. And the Woodlands has kind of just been on skates really the whole second half.
You don't want people to get behind you. You don't want to get beat, and unfortunately, that's what happened on that one right there.
Wildcat from Spring here. They're going to look for a hole. Going to do a physical run all the way down to the 1 yard line. Spotted short, no touchdown.
Just short.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of sudden change plays, and that's exactly what the Woodlands needs now here. What a time this would be for a fumble. Have to have it, obviously, because if Spring scores here, the task obviously becomes just monumental for the Woodlands because the clock's starting to work against the Highlanders. If Spring punches it in here, but still some work for the Lions to do. Wildcat formation again. Going to go up the middle and dive into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions.
That was Fussell just diving over the line. Went straight on Superman.
High hurdle there. And with that score, it's now Spring 44, the Woodlands 28 with 8:32 to go and in the game here tonight.
Had some air on him right there.
Yeah, really did a good job taking off there. Doing exactly what you try and do on that kind of play. Up and over. There's Ruiz on for the PAT. He's going to kick that up. It's good. So the score is Spring 45, the Woodlands 28. The lead is 17 points again for Spring. Again, Spring had 17 points at halftime.
Yes. 17 points at half.
Now on 45, of course, the Woodlands was on 21.
Yep.
Only 7 points for the Woodlands. So far this happened, 28 for Spring, so Lions in total control here after halftime.
Both teams have had 9 drives so far, and it's just been a turnover battle, pretty much.
Yeah, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but Spring should be +3 up in that battle because I believe there's 4 turnovers for the Woodlands to 1 for Spring, unless I've missed one for the Lions there.
You're right. They scored off of 4 turnovers, but it is 3. They are up 3 on them.
Yeah, just so crucial. Goes without saying in these single elimination playoff games, just cannot afford, especially in a matchup of 2 evenly positioned teams in terms of the talent. It's like the turnovers are always going to tell the story at the end of the games like this. Kickoff will be fielded by the Woodlands. Going to try and come up the middle, fighting for yards. You get out past the 25, about 27-yard line for that spot. That's where Matoyer and the Highlander offense will come back out again, having to look for big plays here. Because, again, there's 8:25 left on the clock here in the game. So the Woodlands definitely needing to get aggressive right now and try and pick up these chunk plays to give themselves a chance here.
Yeah, Woodlands have been averaging about 18 yards per return so far tonight.
4 receivers here for Matoyer in the formation, 2 to each side. Going to motion out Williams, so empty backfield now. So Matoyer not quite seeing what he wants, still trying to stay alive, but ultimately going to get sacked. A late flag comes in. See what that could be. That's going to be some indications that it might be holding, but we'll see.
Looks like that was Autenreith by Spring.
And they're going to call hold against the Woodlands there. And back up 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 20.
Actually, 2 penalties. There's a face mask by Spring, so it's going to offset.
Okay, here we go. Let's say the Woodlands did not need to be backed up. So the ball is going to stay on the 28-yard line.
Spring's defensive line is just attacking so hard and not giving Matoyer enough time back there in the pocket.
And here is a pocket for Matoyer, but late pressure.
Henderson
coming off the top side of the formation. Now Matoyer in all kinds of trouble, just has to get rid of it. Be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it was Henderson and then it was Fields.
Yep, up the middle, the protection was good, but Henderson coming off the edge, a little bit delayed there. but untouched, and Matoyer had to try and do all he could to evade him, but couldn't quite do it. Bring up 2nd and 10, 7:55 left in the game. 4 receivers remaining in the game for the Highlanders here, 2 to each side of the formation. As Matoyer looks to the sideline, check with the coaches here.
Changing the play at the line.
Yep, signaling to the offensive line there what he wants. Some early movement. Matoyer's going to escape and give his receiver a chance, caught into Spring territory. No flags on the field that I can see. That's going to move the ball to the Spring 38-yard line. Again, Matoyer just threw that one, just absolute dime on that throw.
I think that was Williams.
It was. He couldn't have handed it to him any better than he threw that. Just drops it in the bucket there. Does Matoyer. Impressive, accurate throw. And he was under duress there as well.
Yeah, Brown is just teamed up right now against Henderson, and actually it's not Brown. I'm sorry. That's actually it's a Blanksley.
Empty backfield for the Woodlands here. Matoyer back to pass, looking over the middle.
There's a
had a man, but he stumbled. There's a little bit of contact. Is they going to get it? No, Ferguson's looking for it, but nothing appears to be coming in. Again, Ferguson was kind of coming over on a little bit of a post route there over the middle, looking for a call that doesn't come. 2nd and 10, 7:13 left in our game. Again, the Woodlands moving from right to left as we look at it from the booth here. 3 receivers. Going to hand it off to Williams going across on the sweep. He's going to try and go back up the middle. Nothing to gain, though. Maybe half a yard gain there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 for
big
the
third down right here.
Absolutely.
Need to keep this drive going. Need to get back in this game. Need to get points on the board.
6:55 and counting on the clock left in our football game here tonight. 4 receivers in the set for the Highlanders. Matoyer again checking with the sideline.
I see Spring showing blitz.
So the coaches go through their gyrations down there, all the movements, some of which mean absolutely nothing. So Matoyer back to pass. Getting pressure up the middle. He's got to try and flood left. He stays alive. Caught by
That's
McGill.
Parker.
What a play by Matoyer there to keep himself alive and complete that pass to McGill. First down, Highlanders, all the way down to the 18-yard line. Brief timeout on the field here as the Spring player will receive some attention.
Good job by Matoyer, just extending that play. Just
yeah, absolutely, because
running for his life out there.
He was. I was watching the replay just now on the board, and yeah, he was under all kinds of pressure there, just coming directly up the middle, just sellout pressure from Spring. He was rolling out to his weaker side there, and McGill also doing a good job adjusting to that and being able to make that catch for the first down. The Woodlands doing everything they can, fighting, clawing for everything here. You have to admire the effort these players, not just going to lay down and let their season go. They're far too talented, worked far too hard to do anything like that, so they're fighting as you would expect them to do, but always impressive to see a team fight like the Highlanders are doing right now.
They just turned to a backyard football play, just talking to your guy, hey, Parker, just get open. I'm going to find you. Plays dead. Let's just get this.
Absolutely, and in one and done time, that's what it takes sometimes. It's like when the design falls apart, make something happen. 4 receivers on the field, 2 to each side of the formation for the Highlanders. 1st and 10 on the 18-yard line.
Well, it's going to be a timeout by the Woodlands. They're going to call a break right here. Just going to try to change something up.
Yep, no wasted downs here for many and obvious reasons, given they're trailing by 17 points, trying to stay alive in this football game. Obviously, need to get in the end zone here, and then thoughts immediately turn to an onside kick, but they've got to do the job first and get the 6 points on the board before they can consider anything like an onside kick, but you have to think that's coming, given the way the clock's starting to work here in this one.
Just looking to see. They've been passing a lot on this drive. They really haven't had any chance to just go back to the ground game.
No, looking for the chunk plays, obviously recognizing the need to move the ball quickly to try and, at least for this first score, to, again, bring it back to a 10-point game. needing to make that happen as quickly as they can.
And Spring's still playing so tight with their defense.
Again, the officials were like we were about ready to line up and run a play, but then the officials came in waving the hands here. We're going to have a conference here around the 20-yard line to see what they want to do. No flags. Not sure if it's a...
Is it a spot or is it a time?
So confer here. Huddle broken.
Well, they're talking to Spring coach on the sideline.
Yeah. Not sure what about, but maybe we'll play football here in a second.
Well, the Woodlands had some momentum going, and then just slowing play down is just going to...
Yep, exactly. Now the head official is going to go over and talk to the Spring coach on the far sideline as Woodlands offense is lined up. They're showing a 4-receiver set here, 2 to each side of the formation. Kind of staying with that standard balanced look. But again, just kind of standing out here waiting. Matoyer now kind of making his way towards the sideline, since it doesn't appear he's got a football play to run, but now he's going to turn around and kind of walk back towards his center.
Times like this, I kind of wish that I knew what was going on out there, that I was a little fly on the wall.
Absolutely. Not sure. It's just gamesmanship or what's going on. But like you said, I mean, it's Woodlands had momentum going, and then you have to deal with the stoppage like this where you're kind of waiting around to see what the officials want to do. It looks like we're ready to resume play here. Be a 1st and 10 play for the Highlanders. They're on the 18-yard line of Spring, again trailing 45-28 on the scoreboard.
Well, something that was involving Henderson because they had to get him to come back out on the sideline, so I guess he has to set a few more plays.
In heavy pressure off the top side from Spring. Matoyer in all kinds of trouble, and they're going to get him with that blitz off the edge. Top side, nothing Matoyer could do about that. Just too quick into the backfield.
Yeah, it was Bruce Davis coming in.
Bruce Davis, a little bit of a taunting going on by Spring defenders to the Woodlands sideline, and the Woodlands coach is not at all happy about what happened there. No flag thrown. It's a good play made by Spring, but there is definite taunting to the Highlanders sideline there. Again, the coach is still going after the officials about that. And this game's getting a
lot of dead air.
A lot of dead air in this game. Yeah, it's like we're waiting for a play to be run, and yeah, finally get one, and then yeah, some stoppages in action. But yeah, the result of that play will be a loss of 3 yards for the Woodlands, so it'll be, or 2 yards rather, it'll be 2nd and 12.
Well, something they called on Spring.
Yeah, and I don't see any flags. A little confused as to what's going on with the officials here, but we'll see what they're going to actually do here. Again, arms wide from the Woodlands coaches as well. They don't know what's going on either.
Woodlands is going to call timeout. I see coach was like signaling for a timeout, but they're
signaling to the clock that they've run time off. There's 6 minutes on the clock.
They're
stopped
fired
now.
up on the sideline.
Yeah, they are. They're pointing to the scoreboard. They're trying to get the attention of the head official. He's not seeming to want to kind of acknowledge that he's being yelled at. But Woodland's going to break their huddle regardless. Matoyer here. Going to fake up the middle. Looking over the middle for the pass. Has Williams. Can't quite make the connection. Had a half step on the defender there. Jason Williams in the end zone. Would have been a touchdown easy. Incomplete.
I'm just seeing Henderson on the Spring side continue to just get through.
Wreak havoc.
He almost got to Matoyer again on that one.
Yeah, he's been, fair to say, an absolute monster in this game. And the combination of Henderson and also some of these blitzes that Spring have brought off the edge with the likes of Bruce Davis, I mean, just
they're playing
causing
with no
all
fear.
Kinds of trouble.
They're
yeah,
playing
absolutely.
with no fear right now.
Ears pinned back the whole game long. They're just selling out. Going to be a handoff. It's going to be a pass throwback to Matoyer. Ball hangs up. Can he make the catch? No, but a flag comes in. That could be interference against Spring because Matoyer was impeded as he tried to make that catch. It was a handoff in the backfield and then one of those throwbacks where the quarterback then goes on a wheel route. Matoyer was impeded. He has a right to catch that football. Pass interference on Spring.
That's going to benefit him right here.
Yep, and from our view here, they're on
A lot of
Action's taking
clock
place
stoppage.
right in front of me. But
So
yeah.
much clock stoppage in the last, I don't know how long it's been. It's just,
Yeah, they're going to walk off the penalty yardage. That's going to put the ball at the 6-yard line of Spring. So the Woodlands, 5:48 left in our game here tonight. Again, still trailing by 17, 45-28 on the scoreboard. The Woodlands trying to get this score as quickly as they can to get it back to 10 points here. Toyer's going to pass Flair. Reed had it, but dropped it. Couldn't bring it in. He was wide open, and he knew it. Yeah, disappointed with himself there, but
shake it off.
yeah,
Goldfish.
he's
Be a goldfish.
one of the main reasons why the Woodlands has done as well as they have this year, so nothing to hang his head about. Again, obviously wants that one back, but got to move to the next play there. Maybe try the same thing with a little bit different flair to it because it was wide open. And it's the kind of play that you would expect to be open against the Spring defense. The way they're bringing pressure is just, yeah, Flair out of the backfield. No one picked up Reed. 4 receivers in the formation. Matoyer back to pass again. Looking to the top sideline, nothing there. He's going to try and check it. Yeah, nowhere to go. He's basically got to throw that away, incomplete. That'll bring up a 3rd down. The intended man he was going for ultimately there, but really just throwing the ball away. I think it was Camden Cash, number 17. Again, Matoyer wanted something on the top side of the field and then had to progress all the way back to the other side of the field to try and find something there, and nothing on.
Spring's still playing pretty tight. Matoyer had a lot of time, just no one was getting open.
Yep, just super physical coverage from Spring all game long. No matter where they've been on the field, they haven't changed. This free pressure off the top side, it is picked up smartly. Matoyer's going to look for a man.
Got
wide
him.
Open touchdown.
Ferguson.
Highlanders. Ben Ferguson. That's what they needed. Excellent job. There's a blitz pickup that came off the top side of the formation there.
They brought that safety right there at the end.
And it was picked up at the last minute. I don't know who picked it up, but I definitely want to single out whoever got that block there.
That was Reed. Reed was in the backfield still.
Yeah, excellent block by Reed to pick that up at the last minute and allow Matoyer to kind of get out there to the right and ultimately find Ferguson. Sims boots through the PAT. So our score is now Spring 45, the Woodlands 35. We've got 5.5 minutes exactly remaining in the 4th quarter. And we'll see what the Woodlands kicking team elects to do here. Jackson, would you go onside here, given the way this game is going?
Still too early. Still plenty of time on the clock. You don't want to risk not being able to recover, and just how aggressive this offense has been. Just putting the ball down the field. Just I can't. I want them to be further back and try to have faith in my defense to finally make another stop like they did earlier in the game. Plenty of time on the sideline. Defense getting rested. Hopefully that they can just come back out there, finally make a stop, because they last drive it was 3rd and 15. Davenport had enough time to get that first down, and I thought that was where they were going to try to get them back in, over in Springs territory.
Absolutely, and unless I'm mistaken, the Woodlands has not been able to get a stop this entire second half so far.
No, it's been 3 back-to-back. It's been technically 4 straight scores. Well, 4 scores because of the fumble recovery that they had off of I believe it was the Matoyer fumble. But yeah, Davenport to Bradley, Fussell with the Wildcat rush.
And Sims has the ball down here. Let's see what he elects to do. He's got it positioned for onside or not. Oh, they're going to onside it. Here it is. It's going to be recovered. That's Bradley. Mr. Sure Hands himself here tonight. It's going to fall on that, Caden Bradley. Spring's main danger man here tonight. Just kind of the man that really ignited this game for Spring after the Woodlands, had been doing a really good job on defense in the first half, but it's Bradley, the one who lit the fuse, and is just absolutely kind of lit this one on fire here for Spring on offense in the second half. Again, Woodlands defense coming out onto the field now. The ball is marked at the 46-yard line, so Spring in their own half of the field, just not in positive territory yet. 4 receivers in the game, so there will be a running back next to Davenport here. Going to throw a quick pass. Flag comes in, though. See what this call is going to be. Didn't catch the movement that may have happened there.
False start.
It is.
Offense.
Back up spring 5 yards.
5-yard penalty, first down.
5:25 on our game clock here tonight. It's going to be a 1st and 15 after that penalty for spring. We're moving left to right as we look at it here in the booth.
Just listen to the band. They're playing Seven Nation Army for you.
Good band classic right there.
Just relax. Get in the zone. Make a stop.
Yeah, get to a 3rd down here. We got to cue up the Jaws theme. Be 1st and 15. Davenport back to pass. He throws the quick flare out. Gonna try and make a play there. Ball's
out. Ball's out. Fumble. Woodland has it. Woodland has it.
It's going to be recovered at the 48-yard line by the Highlanders. What a play. That huge momentum play that you need. Number 15
Luke
for the
Jones.
Highlanders. Yes,
Luke
Jones. Junior defensive back, take a bow.
Cool hand Luke right there.
On the
cool
spot.
Hands. Cool hands.
Alert to that ball coming out and just what the Woodlands needed to happen there. And the offense comes back out onto the field. Massive shift in momentum here. 5:18 on the clock to go in the game. The Woodlands student section is bouncing right now, they believe. Matoyer quickly to the line, 4 receivers. Back to pass. Going to throw out route, Cash caught.
Spin move.
He's going to spin, elude the first man. He's going to gain about 7 yards on that. Positive play.
17, Camden Cat.
Here we go.
There's going to need to be a time where they're going to have to try to go deep.
They will, and I think it's going to be Ferguson on a post route when they do. He's lined up in the slot right now, so he's in position to do just that if they elect to go that way. In a great position to run a post route here. He's going to actually flip positions with Williams, so Ferguson is in the slot. He is moving up the middle of the field. Matoyer's looking deep. A little bit of a miscommunication, a diving interception by Spring. Wow. And again, it looked like Matoyer and the receivers weren't quite on the same page there, but what an athletic interception that was. Completely laid out for that catch, did the Spring defensive back. And again, we kind of called the play there. It was, I think, intended to be Ferguson on the post route, but the ball ended up kind of going in between the routes of Ferguson and Williams there, and then Spring defender just makes an unbelievable play.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. I'm a little lost for words right there.
You get the big momentum play that you wanted on defense, of course, to kind of put your offense back out onto the field with a chance to make it a single-digit score game. Plenty of time on the clock to do so, and then miscommunication leads to the 5th turnover of the ball game for the Highlanders.
It was a nice pass.
It's a
Feeding
handoff
Johnson
sweep.
again.
Woodland's going to do a great job stringing that out. Nothing doing. Going to be tackled for about a yard loss there.
Stopping the clock, pushing them out of bounds.
Again, Spring is backed up on their own 12-yard line here, so the Woodlands still in good position to kind of get back where they were a minute ago if they can get a 3 and out here.
And they still have 3 of their timeouts. Spring's out of timeouts right now.
They can do even better because from what I've seen of the Spring punting game, it's not what you would call great in terms of, like, they're not going to kick the ball really far down the field if they are forced into a punting situation. So the Woodlands can be in great shape here if they can just come up with a couple of stops. Going to be speed option,
like
shown here. Yep, they're going to pitch it. Woodlands has it covered, though.
Got him out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Going to be marked. See where they come in there. Back to the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to be a 3rd and 10. So goes without saying, this is the one you have to have as the Woodlands defense. Have to get off the field here, or at least make it 4th down.
You know they're going to go for a pass. You know they're passing. They want to extend this drive. They just want to keep chewing clock.
Yeah, you have to think number 3, Bradley, he's at the top side of the field now that he's going to be on here, looking up the sidelines. Perhaps he's been available.
And Carter's right there in the slot, and hey, guess what? They're going empty.
Yeah, those corner routes, they're going to target their matchup here. Quick throw out, actually incomplete. Wow, surprising play call.
Now, if they decide to go for it on 4th down right here, that's going to be very insulting to the Woodlands defense.
Yeah, I'll feel like I'm playing my son in Madden if they do that. It's like, really? You just punt the ball? But they are going to bring out the punt team, and here's a massive opportunity for the Woodlands because I think Spring, we haven't seen them punt since the first half, obviously, but the one time they did, the Woodlands actually got really close to blocking it. And wouldn't that be something right here? So the punter is standing on the 3-yard line for Spring. So we'll see if Woodlands brings Bama all-out block here maybe. Nope, nobody gets through. Actually played it a little bit safer than I thought they would. Ferguson goes back. The ball will take a positive bounce, but the Woodlands is going to start this drive on their own 41-yard line is where that's going to be marked. There's 4 minutes and 12 seconds left in our game tonight. Again, Spring leading at 45-35 over the Woodlands. Highlanders have another chance here to pull level. That's 2 stops by the defense now, doing what they can to give their offense a chance. It's the old poker analogy that I like that goes, you know, a chip in a chair is all you need to stay in it.
I've never heard that one
before. It's the old Texas Hold'em analogy.
Oh. You play Hold'em often?
In the past, yeah, not as much now, but it's a high pass over the middle, going to be too high for Williams to rein in, unfortunately, so that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
Well, they are going vertical right now. They're trying to get those positive yards. They're trying to get to the end zone as fast as they can so they can try to attempt another onside and get back in this game.
Absolutely, and the Highlander offense, obviously, as they've shown all year, they average nearly 500 total yards a game on offense. District leaders in that regard. They have plenty of firepower. Matoyer back to pass. He looked deep down the sideline. He wanted Ferguson, but it was good coverage by Spring. That's going to be incomplete and bring up a 3rd and 10.
Matoyer was getting hit as he was throwing.
And just under constant pressure, as you've mentioned all night, from the likes of Henderson and company up front for Spring. It's not been an easy game for Matoyer at all. It's a good college preview for him against the Spring defensive front in terms of the kind of...
Yeah, just remember, this kid's a sophomore.
Absolutely.
Plenty of time to, improve his game and grow as a quarterback.
Empty backfield here, 5 wide for Matoyer. Going to throw underneath one of the slant, caught by Miller, but he is immediately hit hard by a couple of Spring defenders that were all over that. You bring up a 4th down, and yep, you're going for it here.
Season on the line.
Yep, 3 minutes, 42 seconds and counting on the clock as it moves under 3:40 now, 3:38, 3:37. Continue to run here as the Woodlands tries to find what they think is going to be the play, and now they're going to call a timeout. That's the first timeout that the Woodlands has taken here in this second half, so they've got 2 left in the game. Spring has no timeouts left.
All right, Jeremy, I have to ask, what would you do in this situation? Obviously, we're going for it on 4th down. Who are you targeting?
I am targeting Ferguson, but with as clever of a design as I can, and I'm looking again over the middle because I think that's where the hole is in the Spring defense. And it's one where Matoyer can kind of quickly take the ball as well and not have to drop back particularly deep, so he can evade the pressure a little bit better for what Spring's been bringing. But if I see a single high safety or even 2, I'm still targeting the middle regardless. And I want to get Ferguson. He's your most reliable player, so it's like I just can't see in a situation like this looking beyond Ferguson. But Spring's probably thinking the same way. So, and the Woodlands has plenty of other guys out here like McGill that can come up and make a play. It's going to be an empty backfield as we come out in the formation here.
You only need 7 yards. Just keep the drive going.
4th and 7. Matoyer going to be flushed out of the backfield again to his left. He's sacked. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. Again, heavy pressure. Can't do anything with it.
Braylon Jones just coming through. Going to be a turnover on downs.
And Spring defense has done a good job in this second half when they pressured. It's all come from Matoyer's right, so they're constantly forcing him to his left. It's like that's been a theme of the second half. So they've been smart about where they're bringing their pressure, forcing Matoyer to his weaker side as he tries to evade. And Spring, they've got some serious speed on defense.
As the offense is making their way back onto the field.
Just 3:25 left in our game here tonight. Spring ahead, 45-35. They're going to be in the Wildcat here. Going to go to the left side. There's the weak side run we were talking about earlier. He's going to shrug off some contact there, and that's Fussell on the carry. Joey Fussell Jr., senior. As we mentioned a little bit earlier in our audio cast here tonight, that Spring obviously made a nice run for themselves last year. After that 42-21 victory over the Woodlands, they ended up losing to DeSoto 27-21 in the third round. This is a team with a lot of senior experience. They're obviously back for more this year. Woodlands trying to hang on here by a thread if they can, but clock working well against them right now as Spring stays in the Wildcat here now with Fussell. Go straight up the middle that time. He's got first down yardage.
Just have to compliment Spring just being so aggressive tonight.
They have been. They've shown up with clear intent of playing to win, and the way they came out in the third quarter in particular, just seizing all of the momentum with those, the 2 turnovers, obviously, fueling all of that, and just kind of lit a fire that the Woodlands hasn't quite been able to extinguish. And again, we talked about, we had a great first half, and we saw the matchup between these two teams really play out as being just 2 quality teams here tonight. In a Spring Wildcat, they're going to run around the right side, pick up about 5 yards. And I still maintain that based on the quality I've seen here tonight, Jackson, that we're watching basically a third-round caliber playoff game, if not fourth round. But yeah, clearly 2 good football teams. Harsh to see either one of these teams having to go out in the first round here tonight, but such is the nature of single elimination playoffs.
Yeah, Spring has been averaging about 52 points a game lately, and as I said earlier in the broadcast, that they were on a 5-game winning streak, and they are using that as their advantage, as motivation to keep this streak alive.
Yeah, very, very good football team. Just lots of talent on display on both sides here tonight. Been a joy to watch. Again, just different energy in the building here tonight. Just with the playoffs, you can tell that you had 2 good football teams on display here. Got 2:06 on our game clock as Spring breaks the huddle on their far sideline to come out. Run their next play here, 2nd down and 6. Ball is on the 18-yard line of the Woodlands. They're going to stay in this Wildcat with Fussell. He's going to take it sweep left side this time. He's got room. He's going to get up into a crease and get another first down, put his head down. Powerful finish to that run.
Just following his blockers, finding the opening, getting in the open field. Another goal line set right here. Goal line stand.
Yep, and this seconds countdown on the game. The important thing for the Woodlands players to remember, particularly the seniors this year, they improved on last year with their record, which is something they can be proud of, obviously. They should be proud of.
Yes, 100%.
And once heard a coach say to not let the pain of the moment, i.e. a playoff loss, rob you of kind of what you've gained on the journey, kind of all the things that you've learned through athletics, not just this year, but just kind of over the course of your life, because for a lot of these players, they've been in youth sports, they've played with each other. I mean, these are guys out here with their best friends for the Woodlands. I would imagine quite a few of these guys have been together since they were just grade schoolers, just running around out there, just having a good time. And again, the lessons that these players learn in high school athletics are always much bigger, or should be much bigger than what happens on the field. It's about molding young men so they go be productive members of society eventually. And they can be good employees, good husbands, good fathers. Fussell takes it up the middle. He's going to punch it in for another Spring touchdown here. 42 seconds left in the game. That's going to be Spring 51, the Woodlands 35 now on the scoreboard, pending the PAT. But again, it's like obviously everybody wants to win. You want to be successful in the playoffs. But again, as we mentioned, there are 128 teams when you combine the 2 brackets that started these playoffs, and only 2 get to only 2 of the 128 get to end the year with smiles on their faces. Everybody else is disappointed with what happens. So it's like that is some kind of perspective. As Ruiz lines up to boot through the PAT here. When you consider it that way from the athletic point of view, that only 2 of the 128 get to end the season happy, and you consider that there are over 300 high schools in Class 6A in total.
Yeah.
And again, only 2 are ending the year happy as state champions.
Doesn't it go all the way like through Christmas?
Absolutely, yeah. The state title game, the weekend right before Christmas on a traditional schedule year. Of course, last year, or this year, we should say, we just finished the season in February, so we're going to crown 2 state champions in the same calendar year, which is crazy to think about.
Yes.
Yeah, because you forget how much the schedule was altered in last year's COVID year. But again, you push through all the holidays. One of the team goals that playoff teams like the Woodlands tend to have every year is, the first goal is to play on Thanksgiving, and the second goal is to be preparing, when Christmas comes around, and to delay that Christmas shopping as much as you possibly can. But again, these Woodlands players, particularly the seniors, they deserve a lot of credit for the way they played this year, recapturing the district championship, which is a big deal, of course, given that College Park won it the year before, for the Highlanders to reclaim that. Again, putting the program more back on a trajectory for what they're used to and kind of what they expect to do at the Woodlands, which is to obviously be district champions and to kind of put themselves in the playoff mix every year as being a team that can make something happen if the bounces go their way and they get the right matchups. Obviously drawing a super tough opponent in Spring here tonight. Spring pooches the ball back. It's going to hit the turf. See if the Highlanders can get on that. Officials come in. Can't quite see who's got it from my view here.
Spring's saying that they have it.
Yeah, there are some signals down on the field. See if the official agrees. And
Spring
they
has
do.
it.
Spring has it. Again, ball hits the turf there on that kick, and just kind of a slow submission by Spring here to end this game over the Woodlands. Again, the Highlander players, fought and clawed as long as they could here as the second half went on, but Spring just really showing their quality, their athletic quality on both sides of the ball. So the second half move on with players like, we've been talking about them all night, Jackson, Caden Bradley, and Jared Henderson among them, and of course being led by Bishop Davenport, experienced senior.
Believe they're going to be lining up.
Looks like victory formation here for Spring.
Yeah.
And again, for all of you that have joined in our audio cast here tonight, we thank you for being with us, and we hope we were able to kind of paint a picture for you here tonight of the action, and hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed watching the action. We don't enjoy the result as much because we got a local team that won't be moving on.
I feel bad for a lot of those seniors that their season ends tonight.
Yeah, it's always the seniors you feel for. But again, with time, they'll see the greater perspective for what they've done as student athletes. If they are already, there are a lot of really smart, great kids down there that probably have that perspective already, and amazing if they do, because, you'd certainly be credited for kind of feeling that sadness right now, being sad in the moment with your teammates and your buddies. But again, with time, it'll heal, and they'll see the bigger lessons.
I just think of, and I do use a lot of pop culture references, but I'm just going to use this one right here with Alfred Pennyworth talking to Bruce Wayne, why do we fall? To get ourselves back up again.
Absolutely. And again, just remember for the seniors all those valuable lessons that you've learned in athletics your whole life about perseverance, attention to detail, accountability.
Keep your head up.
Yeah, all of the above. All of it applies in real life just as much or more than anything you've learned in a classroom in terms of, we're not docking math, science, or English or anything like that. But just those lessons you learn about mental toughness when you stay in athletics over a long period of time and play at a high level like these kids are doing. Again, as mentioned earlier, it's amazing the level that these kids can reach when you start talking about high-level Class 6A football in Texas.
And everyone's over at midfield right now just wishing each other a great game as their season's coming to an end, as
nice
Spring will be moving on.
Yep, nice to see the sportsmanship between the two teams, because it was obviously extremely competitive out there on the field. Both coaching staffs into it, both sidelines into it, and both sets of fans into it the whole time.
And a lot of respect being given by both sides, just because usually it just is a quick interaction. There's a lot of handshakes, hugs that are going on right there on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, they know they were in a battle tonight, quality football game from both teams. Again, just two very good teams, tough to see And I was thinking about it before the game. It was going to be unfortunate to see either one of these have to go home after just a game, because I think, you look at them on paper and you're like, these are really good football teams. Again, Jackson, I've enjoyed doing this broadcast with you here tonight. And
Me too, Jeremy.
yeah, appreciate you joining me for this. And
It was a nice dynamic duo.
absolutely. And again, for everyone who's joined us on our stream, thank you very much. We appreciate having you with us tonight. And again, pay attention to the Conroe ISD Sports pages and follow us for the action that we'll be able to bring you here as the playoffs move on. It'll be College Park at least moving on in the district, so stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Jeremy McGrail signing out along with Jackson Cochran.
Thank you, Jeremy. We'll have a good night, and we'll see y'all when we let you know when we're coming back on. Good night, everyone.